Yo, salute everyone. Salute. What's good, man? What's going on? Knicks Real Talk off day show. Knicks at the trading deadline. What we gonna do, man? So we're gonna get it popping. I got KJ in the building with me. We're gonna sit down and talk to Knicks, man. Get into this off day thing. A lot of trade buzz and speculation going on out there. We just gonna get it all into it, man. Talk Knicks, man, on the day off. Knicks don't have no game tonight. They play tomorrow in LA. Go out there to the West Coast and get it popping out there against the LA Lakers tomorrow. So in the meantime, they got a day off, but we got a day on right here, man. Knicks Real Talk. I got my man KJ in the building. KJ, what's good?
Salute, Devon. Knicks Real Talk family. Salute to the chat. Hey, man, let's get right into it. You know, it's big trade talk right now. It's that time of the year. Our team is not doing well, Devon, and names are flowing out there. And let's see what the trade deadline has in store for us. You know.
Yeah, real talk, man. Absolutely, man. So we're gonna get into that, break all that down. And we got the chat in here. We got my man Frank Matos in the building early, and Kevin Rodriguez, Knicks Nation. We here. I'm a man down there on Instagram. We get it popping, man. I'm glad he came in and holler at us, man, and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, it's a lot going on. They got some trade buzz out there and all that good stuff. So we're gonna get in there and break all that down and see what's popping, man. We're gonna talk about it. And then we'll see what's going on. But first and foremost, right now the biggest thing popping off out there right now is the noise about Julius Randle and De'Aaron Fox. Supposedly, there's some noise out there that could be a possible thing in the making for the Knicks. The Knicks are interested in them, according to Brian Windhorst and all these guys. That the Knicks is interested in him, and with the Julius Randle situation, that's not a bad trade whatsoever. By all means, I think it works out well for both teams. Both of them need at that position. And so it could be really, really something to keep an eye on. I mean, we're not saying it's 100%. We're only going off what we hear out here on the streaming world, but it is out there that the Knicks are, interested in him, and as well as Julius Randle could be going out there as well. So what you think about that?
I just twofold. I see if Fox, what does Fox provide? Fox probably provides a point guard that we need. Can score with the best of them, can play defense, and he's a young infrastructure guy. Then you got Julius Randle, who's here, and we seen what he did last year in the playoffs for us, and it was disappointing. And we seen his body language has been off lately, and it's one of them things like if you really don't want to be here, then maybe a trade is you go somewhere else and you probably continue your career and keep doing. But I like it. If it happens, I like it, but I still don't think it'd be a straight up trade. I think some more pieces to go with that trade. But if it was straight up right now, through 50-something games right now, it's not working. We've seen the playoffs like this with him. Hey, it couldn't hurt. Mm-hmm. Change the scenery. We got 30 games left, and it's like, what changes can we make? So think about it, Devon. If there's no trade happening, I don't see this team making the playoffs at all. Mm-hmm. It's nobody trades. So if this trade happens right now, I'll be fine with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's a good trade for both teams. Like I said, they can use the power forward like Julius Randle. We can use the point guard like De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox probably make $4 or $5 million more than he do. But as we know now, we get into it later. The salary cap going up next year to $121 million. You know what I mean? I think it's a good trade overall. It gives them what they can use. Now they got Halliburton and Davion Mitchell down there. Right. I could use a power forward like Julius Randle. Knowing what we need, we definitely need a point guard and have a point guard like De'Aaron Fox, young man who can get it. Granted his 3-point shot ain't the best, but you put shooters around guys like that. I just think it works well for both situations. I think it's a good situation trade for both teams. They both, if De'Aaron Fox can use the change of the scenery, even though his name is also mentioned out there with the New Orleans Pelicans, but I do think this trade right here is a good deal for the Knicks and for them. I just think it bodes well for what we're trying to do down there. I mean, this young man, he can get it, man. He's a real good ball player, dominant point guard down there, 24 years old. I think he can fit in right with our young core. Him, RJ Barrett, Grimes, Cam and Obi and these guys, and McBride. I think he fits in well with it. Then you still had the guys like Derrick Rose and Todd Gibson and Fournier and these guys to kind of keep the team with a mentorship players behind them, some experience. So I do think it's a good trade. I have no problem with it whatsoever. And I think to me, I just think it bode well for both teams. I
Right.
really do. I think that it works out for the Knicks. Then you're hearing the speculation about Julius Randle, whatever, somebody's deleting Knicks on IG,
Yeah.
things of that nature. So I mean, I don't know how much he's playing to that, but I do know that overall, I think it's a good trade for the Knicks. I think it works out well for both teams.
Well, definitely, Devon. And either way, you look at it. When to your point, when a story grows legs in New York City media, sometimes a lot of times it becomes true because there's too many legs, and then there's too many people talking about it, and then the organization is thinking about it. Just think about it from the Sacramento Kings standpoint. Finally, Julius Randle will have not one but 2 point guards, Halliburton and Davion Mitchell, he could play with. So they got to think to themselves like, well, we see what's going on in New York. If we bring him to the Kings, how will he fit in with this young core? Will he continue his same game, or will he change the game up? Then on the flip side, now it's R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, Grimes, and Fox. You got a young core that can really play with each other. And will it help the team out? So it's another roll of the dice. This to me makes the most sense because their money is about the same, so we're not really losing anything. So I will go with it. If I'm a Knicks organization and I can put a plug, I will go with it. My experience with Julius Randle, I've seen some good times and I've seen the bad times like right now. And guess once you lose the trust in the audience and the fans, it's like, you know what, it might be time for them to go ahead and call it a day.
Yeah, real talk. And like I said, we don't know if this thing gonna happen 100% or not. It's just out there. But here's the situation to me is when you got guys like, the guys out there, they hear noise like Brian Windhorst. Granted, he's not tapped into the Knicks, but he's tapped into the NBA. You know what I mean? And you hear that out there, and when you tap into the NBA, people know people. And it might not even be true. It might not even going to happen. We don't know. But the only thing we could do as content creators and guys who got these broadcasting shows is put it out there. You know what I mean? I have no viable sources. I'm not even trying to pretend I got viable sources. I'm pretty much going off of what's out there in the atmosphere and out there in the blog world and the stream world. But it is reported that the Knicks are interested in them. And if that's the case, then I have no problem with the Knicks doing it. I really don't. I think maybe might be because sometimes a change of scenery works well for both players. Like Julius Randle might need to change the scenery, and he might need to change the scenery, and De'Aaron Fox might need to change the scenery, especially De'Aaron Fox after playing under the coaches that he's been playing under with Luke Walton, Gentry now, and I don't know who was there before Luke Walton, but that didn't go well.
Right.
So it might be that time too. To move on and get a change of pace, get a change of atmosphere, and see how it goes for Julius Randle. Obviously, I think it also bodes well for him because he, after what he went through, and I'm hearing that, and I'll put that out there, like my man Brian Hurst was saying that Tibbs and Julius Randle is I guess maybe not be on the same page. You know what I mean? And that they feeling some type of way about things.
Okay. They had us fooled if that's the case, Devon, because I'm like, to hear that come out is like, but you don't know. Like I said, it's just like you said, it's just stories. This guys is plugged into the league. We know it's things out there. It's just they're not clicking. But that that story sounds a little not believable because of the way Tibbs treats Julius, and keeps him in the game. So I don't know how true that story could be, but hey, if it is and there's something there, they had us all fooled.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And the interesting about that too. I think also KJ, he keeps Julius Randle in the game because that's his best player. He ain't got no choice. He's trying to win games as well. You know what I mean? I seen one time Tibbs screened at Julius Randle dead in his grill. Literally was coming to the bench. He got in him. This was last year, but he got in him though. So, but you never know. Who knows? We just know we know it's speculation, and we that's all it is. It's just speculation, but it's not us reporting it. We are getting it from other sources, and Brian Windhorst and guys like that. Like I said, they tapped into the NBA circles. You know what I mean? And one thing I know about Brian Windhorst, they're not clickbait guys. They don't throw stuff out there for clickbait. I think he's a legitimate NBA guy who's locked into the NBA. So we'll see. But like I said, getting back to the contract, they work well. I don't have no problem with that. I love the man. He's only 24. I just think that you get a guy like that at point guard from New York who can get up and down the floor with Obi Toppin and R.J. Barrett and them on a break and lobbing to Mitchell Robinson, lobbing to Obi Toppin, and playing on the Tibbs. I think Tibbs, he got like his size, man. He got good size for a point guard. I just think it's something they got to check out. They just got to check it out and see how real it is, and see if it's some smoke there. If there's smoke there, it's fire, obviously. KJ. Right. So, but we'll see. We just want to put it out there because it's out there, and obviously that's what we're supposed to do. But I'm gonna keep my eye on this thing, man. Like I said, it's definitely doable. It's doable on all aspects. We know how Scott Perry got relationship with that situation. I think he might have helped bring him to Sacramento, or drafted him, if I'm not mistaken, of that nature. So he's locked into that. And we got to really see how it pop. And if it work out, I'm good with it. I really am. We haven't had a dynamic point guard like that since 2018 when Derrick Rose came here in 2018, or whatever the case it must have been. But this dude is the dynamic, man. He's a good ball player. Another Kentucky boy. Coach for Calipari. Quick is one of the fastest cats in the league. Man, him and Obi on a break would light the garden on fire. So I love it from that standpoint.
And you got to think about the other team. Look at the way Evan Fournier is playing way better than he was in the beginning of the year. So you factor in a lot of things. It gives more guys playing time. Obi's able to play more. Grimes and hopefully McBride signing with D Rose coming back. So it's a lot of positive things that we could see for these next 30 or 20 some games if they make the Baroness trade, if it does happen. I think right now, if it's no Julius trade, I think other pieces may move, like an Alec Burke or Noel, just to get some assets for the summertime. Right now we have no money, so right now it's trying to clear cap. If no big trade, we said this before. The only way we trade Julius Randle is for a young budding star, and you have that in Randle and Fox. He's young budding star that can handle the point guard position. We haven't had a true point guard, and guess what he can do? He plays great defense. Can shoot and take you to the hole. So he fits what we need on this team right now with the RJ and Grimes, and now we can see what Cam Reddish can do. So why not? Let's try to explore some new things, because through 50-something games, guys, right now it has not worked out. We've been too inconsistent. Some games we look like, we're going to make the NBA finals. Other games is like, why are we even on the court right now? So it's too many what ifs in that. And I still believe in this front office. I believe they have what it takes, and they will make something happen. If not now, this summer.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, good one, Frank. Actually, Fox 24, Mitch Obi 23, Cam IQ 22. Grimes 20, RJ and Grimes 21, and you got a couple of guys like Derrick Rose there, Fournier. You got some experience behind these guys. It's going to be real interesting. So it really going to be interesting to see how this thing pan out. I'm looking forward to it. But salute to the chat, though, real quick. Salute to the chat. Everybody up in there, man. Appreciate y'all coming in tonight, get a popping with us on this Knicks off day, man. We just talking Knicks trade and all that good stuff and what's going on around the league, and we're going to get into all that. But salute to the chat. Tony Analo, salute to you, my brother, and my man, for coming in here and joining this party, man. You already know this. Make sure I hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get it popping, and we do it from there, man. But yeah, man, I like I said, it's interesting to see how this thing pan out, and I really don't have no problem with it whatsoever.
Right. Hey D, so I'm looking at some of the chat. We respond to our chat. Hey, I understand that. 25%. Let's take away the percentage of defense. Let's talk about basketball. Can the man play basketball? Who on the Knicks team right now is better than Randle and Fox right now? I'll wait. Tell me that right now. You take away Julius Randle, does Fox become the best player on this team? What do you think, Devon?
I think him and RJ is definitely
Right.
him and RJ. There's nobody on the Knicks better than on that Knicks team better than De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
I can tell you that right now.
Right.
Not yet, because a lot of them are young. They haven't got to where he at yet. And RJ, he's on the cusp of being there. But I think we got to get off the everybody with the 3-point shooting. That's only one asset for the game. You know, I do get it. People say he can't shoot. Russell Westbrook can't shoot 3-point. He going to the Hall of Fame.
And Ben Simmons.
Him and Ben Simmons going to the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? You got basketball is just more than only 3-point shooting. You know what I mean? And it's about what other things you could do. I mean, like I said, and there's a lot of things that young man could do with a basketball. He helps Knicks turn around the pace. He's probably one of the better passers that we probably gonna have, even though he's a scorer. He's probably one of the better passers that we have that's coming to New York. I just think all around he's a much better player than anybody we got, other than RJ Barrett on to come up. And we can't say Grimes, they just got here. We can't say none of these guys but no, do I think if he comes to the Knicks, he'd be one. Him and RJ Barrett would be the best player on the Knicks, hands down, so everybody else get to prove themselves. You know what I mean? But yeah, but other than that, man, like I said, it's a team sport, and like, though he might not be a good defender, but that could change with a defense-minded coach. It could change with a defense-minded system. It also could change with players around you that's also defense-minded, might bring out the best in you. So like I don't watch De'Aaron Fox every day. I'm pretty much locked into the Knicks 24/7, 365, 82 games a year. Other than follow him in college to see him what games he play in the NBA. We always got to remember this here, guys. They didn't give him $163 million because he couldn't shoot a 3-point ball. He didn't get a max contract just because he couldn't shoot a 3. The man got a max contract because the cat can get down, and that's what we have to look at in totality. Is that I won't get over amped about that. I'm not even worried about that. Like I said, Ben Simmons got a max contract. He can't shoot a 3 ball. Russell Westbrook got a max contract. He can't shoot a 3. They're not high percentage 3-ball shooters. I'm quite sure they can knock them down 29, 30%, but whatever. You know what I mean? But I think what he does overall makes up for the 3-point shooting. And like I say, when you got guys like Grimes, Fournier, Quickly, RJ shooting good from 3, and you can always bring in 3-point shooter to put it around him. You know what I mean? So I'm not too much concerned with that. And that, like you said, that is a big backcourt. Shaw Powers, and so I'm psyched about it, man. If it happened, I'm with it. Put like this here, if it happens, I think we might. A lot of guys who might not like it, KJ, but once it happens, I think we settle down and go with the flow and hope that he come out and make the Knicks better. That's all we really can add for that. Whether we want to hear it or not, the front office bring them here. We just want them to make the Knicks better. You know what I mean?
Because
and that's what it is for me.
Right. Because the basketball I'm looking at it's frustrating. Based on the year we had last year, imagine the decision makers in the league right now. The Knicks have so many more games on ABC, ESPN, and look what they're playing. They're like, oh man, we done messed up. Just when we want to give the Knicks something, this is what they do to us. So they were thinking the same thing we're making. So now it's like, this is not working. We got to change it up. And it's team basketball. He automatically makes our team better because he's going to push the pace. And guess what now? You have more guys that are going to be able to get a chance to really play some more minutes now. And we see the way the second unit plays, Devon. The second unit plays faster. More time on that court. They get to gel. Look at Grimes. Grimes is the perfect example from the beginning to now. I want to see Grimes in there all the time because the man provides defense, and I feel like his shot is going to go in every single time. So I want to see more of that young core, and we have a lot of that young core on this team, and getting more is not going to hurt us because we're going to get more assets, regardless of the money he makes. The money matches because Julius gets paid a lot of different money. I mean, he makes more money than him, but it's still not bad because he's only 24 years old. So why not take that, roll the dice, take the gamble, and then see what happens in these 30 games, and then we could evaluate what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk. And on another note, like the Alice Burks noise. The Alice Burks noise is out there. What are we going to do with that situation? From certain reports out there where the Knicks, would move them if they could attach assets with them. You know what I mean? So I do have to say that, with the Alex Burks situation, you also got to take that in mind that he's another guy that could be out there. You know what I mean? And be on the trade block and to be able to make some space. And I like that Frank Fox and D Rose. What a guy to have the mentor. But can you imagine De'Aaron Fox, as quick as he played, learning from D Rose for the next couple of years? That's what I look at as well. It's things like that to me that makes sense as well. That having D Rose mentor De'Aaron Fox at 24 years old, that's important. It's important from him moving forward. Because sometimes you look at guys like De'Aaron Fox. Here, I'm gonna put this out here for you guys. Real talk. Think about when he came in the league. He failed at. This is the Sacramento Kings of all. De'Aaron Fox never had a real veteran leader in Sacramento. They never did. It was either Boogie Cousins was the same way. Can you imagine Boogie Cousins when he was there? They would have had veteran leadership. That organization was so flipped up and screwed up to a degree that he never had guys that can bring him along or show him the ropes as he go along. He never had that. So coming over here having a guy like Derrick Rose, who's the point guard in this league for years and know all the intricacies, the in and out, how to play point guard in the NBA, know the landscape, know what guys' tendencies are. That's something that's why I think Mitchell Robinson is coming around the way he coming around, because of guys like Gibson and Kenny Payne and Todd Gibson, they get to educate these guys to teach them the game of basketball. De'Aaron Fox never had that.
Right.
Think about the 4 years that he's been in the league. Name a veteran that been on the Sacramento Kings who mentored that young man. Nobody. So it's a difference playing for a coach like Tom Thibodeau and Derrick Rose there, opposed to playing with Luke Walton and other guys. He's still 24 years old. You know what I mean? He's a year younger than Obi. You know what I mean? And so he's not even hit his prime yet. So he still got a lot of growing in the league to do. So what better way to grow to be behind a guy like Derrick Rose, I would say. So I just want to put that out there. But hopefully for me, I don't have a problem with it. I think it'll be a good match for the Knicks. We need to bring a point guard in here to do what Kemba Walker can do. And then the good thing about it, KJ, as Derrick Rose go down, say another year from now, then Deuce McBride might be ready. You understand what I'm saying? And then you got Deuce McBride ready to take on that NBA thing to the fullest. So I do think it could be a win-win for both teams. I know a lot of guys split on it. Some guys want them, some guys don't, which is understandable. Some guys might like them, some guys might not like them. But I do think it makes sense, though. I can say that much.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm looking for a change. Like I said, we've been down this road too many years, and to get that close last year to where the season ended, it's like, man, guys tease us, So it's like when we get an opportunity to make something else happen, if a guy's not happy, make a trade. Make something happen regardless, because what's going to happen is these guys, they know how to fix this money. They know how to get this asset for that. Knicks have assets right now. There's no way we're going to use all of our draft picks next year and this next coming lottery. So my thing is, Devon, why not go for something? If it's something there that makes sense, do it. We just was talking about Ben Simmons. Same thing. Ben Simmons, we don't know how Ben Simmons can shoot. We know Ben Simmons provides defense. We talked about Westbrook, putting Westbrook on this team because it makes sense that his money's gonna go off in the next year. There's money to be done. But guess what Westbrook provides? He provides defense and hard work, and we know he's gonna come to MSG every night, every time they play. He's gonna come with that hard work. So my thing is, what's the difference with Fox? He's younger, makes a little bit more money, but it's a great gamble to take because you're matching him up with young infrastructure in the RJ Barrett, in the Grimes, in the Mitchell Robinson. So why not take that gamble right now? I think it's a match if it happens, Devon.
Yeah, I understand where you come from, Keith. I do understand where you come from because we got McBride. He's on a max deal, but we also got to understand too, though. If the New York Knicks, if they're looking to go right now, if they want to be a playoff contending team, and it seems like to me that's what they're trying to do. If the Knicks wasn't trying to go to the playoffs and get this and that and they're not going to understand it. But right now, the way it's working, Julius Randle. So if we keep Julius Randle for the next 4 years, and the way it looks, we 4 games under 500. It ain't working. It looked like I don't know if he's gonna be able to maintain 4 more years in New York City. And we need a point guard in New York bad. So if y'all think that McBride can literally handle to take the Knicks to that next level, then okay, I have no problem with that. But I don't think the front office, see, because it forget about what we think. It's what the front office think.
Right.
If them guys in New York City, if Scott Perry, Leon Rose, and them guys said they interested in De'Aaron Fox, whether we think they fit the Knicks or not, that's what they gonna do. You know, it ain't about us. You know, it ain't about us. It's about what them the ones making the decision making. That's the reason why I made the stream. The Knicks, what they gonna do at the trade deadline? You know, because it's about them. And I do think that you can take Fox because listen. Granted, my man McBride is up and coming. He lighted it up in the G League. He's a future Knick. But do you think he's ready to play for the Knicks in the playoffs this year? I mean, and really, because it's a tough. You asking McBride to come in here when the Knicks trying to fight for a spot to lead us to somewhere, and I just don't know, how we think compared to the way the Knick brass think. You know what I mean? The Knick brass thinks that way. You know what I mean? And I do think that if you look in the East. Who the top point guard in the East? Kyrie Irving, Drew Holiday, the name of a few.
You got Garland from Cleveland that's doing good.
Yeah. I mean, you got some dudes out there that they all stars, man. Them dudes are all-star players. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, if do we think that McBride could compete with these guys right now to get us in the playoffs every night compared to what he going up against? He's a young man. We asked him who had no playing time. We asked that young man to come in here and lead the Knicks to the playoffs and beyond. I mean, it's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough. I mean, but if we think, as a fan base, you think that's cool, I'm cool with it. I understand it. I'm not the one advocating for him to come here. I just know that I wouldn't have a problem with him coming here. I think De'Aaron Fox is a talent, and I really think he's a talent, period. He's a talent. And like I said, man, this guy could ball, man. It ain't like he a scrub. He ain't a scrub by no means. De'Aaron Fox to play basketball with some of the best dudes out there. You know what I mean? And it's either really what the thing is, because if the Kings moved and wanted Julius Randle, and the only way you get Julius Randle is to get De'Aaron Fox. Would you guys I'll keep it that simple. If the Kings really wanted Julius Randle, and the only way you get Julius Randle, would you guys trade for Fox, or you just rather keep Julius Randle? And I think that'll tell me, how you guys is leaning for that part of it, because I do think that the young man would make the Knicks better. And to me, and then when I don't think McBride is ready right now, I would love for him, because of the situation we in, because I lack a defense in there. I want him to start, because I just think the Knicks defense in the backcourt is so atrocious. I'd rather for him to throw him in there. But I still think McBride is just, to me, is pretty much on the Alpha Payton level with a jump shot. And he can score with an offense game. But De'Aaron Fox does know how to run the point guard. He does know how to run the team. I just think that we underestimate what he was doing down in Sacramento with that this dysfunctional franchise at the time, with the mess they was going through, with no supreme coach, no supreme coaching, people in and out, guys in and out, no stability. You always when the player going through it like that, it's always going to seem like he's not doing nothing because the organization ain't doing nothing. Prime example, what we're going through now. Look what Julius Randle going through right now compared to last year, because he's sneaking up the joint. And now he, that's the way it be sometimes when you're not winning basketball and stuff like that. He haven't been in a winning organization because the organization haven't been winning. But I don't think it had anything to do with him. So I think you had to see about that for sure.
Hey, Devon, it's like this. If the Knicks brass would have known this was, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. They wouldn't even pay Julius that money. They would have traded him after the playoffs last year and was like, you know what? We got to cut losses. Let's sell high on him and get somebody else in. But it's just more, it seems to me, it's just more internal things going on that we as a fan base don't know about. But they know. Just look at his body language. That could tell you everything you need to know. So some of these reports, they have to be true. And, when it gets loud in New York, people tend to say, you know what? I'm out of here. It happens to mostly all of our stars. We out. But you know what, Devon? I'm for this trade if it happens right now. I'm for any trade, and I'm not just saying trade Julius Randle. I'm saying that you could take a Evan Fournier, a Alec Burks, and a Noel in a second round pick or a 2023 draft pick, and throw some more people in this and get more people in to help with Julius Randle in here if it does happen.
Yep.
But I just don't know based on what's going on this year if it's whose fault is it? Is it because of no guard? Is it Julius Randle? Is it the coaching staff? It's just too many what ifs. So when you have too many what ifs, you got to go with your gut feeling. And right now, the gut feeling that we see the product on the floor is not working. So a change has to happen. Because let me tell you something. If we do make the playoffs, guess what? We probably get swept again because we're not getting hot. Right now, teams that are getting hot right now are got momentum. We're not even hot yet. We have not got hot. I think we had a 4-game winning streak one time. That's it. Other than that, it's been mediocre. One game, we win. Next game, we win 2 games. We lose 3, 4. Win another one. It's just too much. So my thing, a change is needed.
Yeah, and for me, a lot wise. I don't think Fox. I'm not gonna say he would get us to the play, but I do believe in this here though. By having De'Aaron Fox there, because De'Aaron Fox numbers ain't too much other than a rebounding standpoint. He put up the same 20 points a game Randle do. He give you the same assists Randle do. Now, what that does to me, it also frees up another spot at the 4 where you can get somebody better there. I'm not better than Randle, but you can bring a guy in. Even if it's not Obi, you might wind up getting another guy to play in the 4 spot. That now you got your point guard and you can put a guy in Julius Randle's slot. Whether they do a trade or whether they bring in another 4, you might look up and get a 4 that can give you 15, 17 points a game. Now you adding 17 points a game to your starting lineup at the 4, and you got De'Aaron Fox who give you the same number for point production as Julius Randle. So to me, you really, that's why I don't have a problem with it, because you might be losing Julius Randle, but you're gaining De'Aaron Fox. So that's a wash to me. That's a wash. Let's say they both do 20 points a game. Julius Randle right now, they're averaging what, 18 a game?
About 17.
Yeah, I think De'Aaron Fox giving you what, 19, 20. So now, but what about that spot that Julius Randle had? You might look up and get a guy in that spot. Now that might give you more than Kemba Walker was giving you. You understand what I'm saying? So you placing Kemba Walker with De'Aaron Fox. That's a no-brainer. But now all you got to do is bring a guy at that 4, even if it's not Obi. But bringing a guy in a trade or whatever that might say, no, this dude giving me he averaging 15, 16 a game, guaranteed. So now I think you bolstered that team much better than De'Aaron and another power forward than Julius Randle and Kemba Walker or McBride or whoever, your combination of Alex Burks. That team is better to me because I think you addressing 2 situations right there. You making your point guard spot better, and you can get a guy in there that might not be Julius Randle, but if you all depending who the guy is, he can help the team out more. Say if he's a dominant rebounder, he can stretch the floor and shoot the 3 ball, a 3 and D, whatever. So to me, I think that makes your chance better to go to playoffs than the Julius Randle and Kemba Walker. To me, that's the Achilles heel right now for the Knicks is Kemba Walker. So I replace Kemba Walker with De'Aaron Fox in a heartbeat. And I also wouldn't have a problem with trying to find a 4 that could at least give us 15 a game, maybe 7, 8 rebounds to take Julius Randle's spot. You made your starting lineup better.
Right. Think about this, D. Right now, the front office wants to save face, right? We all thought that bringing in Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker was going to be different, with replacing Alfred Payton and Reggie Bullock, right? That was a failed project, right? So now we say, you know what? We got to save face because I don't want people blaming me if I'm Leon Rose or World Wide West. Their reputation's on the line. You know what? So, hey, let's roll this dice again. And if this works, guess who looks like genius? They look like geniuses because they changed the whole season around. And then you can worry about the offseason. All right, who matches? All right, we're going to play RJ. We're going to play Mitchell Robinson, their money. We're going to get them back. Then you get a longer look at Cam Reddish. You get a longer look at Grimes, and hopefully a McBride or even the Sims in here with D Rose coming back. So it's a lot of what ifs, but to me, it's just too many log jams right now. And if you keep some of the pieces on this team, we're never going to able to see what Cam Reddish is going to be able to do in these next 30 games because he's not going to be able to play. We're not going to have a chance for Deuce McBride to get in the game because it's too much of a logjam, especially when D Rose comes back. So some moves have to be made, even if it's not Julius Randle, but moves have to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we say we make no trades and the Knicks go on a tremendous run like last year, I still have no confidence in this team when it comes to the playoffs because they showed their hands too many times, especially rest of this year. So I don't know how you feel about that, Devon, but I just feel like the Knicks is they're back to their old ways and too many things to get into. You're only going to go as far as your leader takes you. And we've been saying it. Julius makes the most money, so automatically he's our leader. He's in that position. But, man, act like it. Be the leader that you need. How you think these other guys are feeling? Like they probably don't want to go to him or talk to him. Like, we don't know the internal pieces, but the optics on the court show, like, man, these guys, if he goes away, it might be a breath of fresh air for some of these guys because now they can really showcase what they can do. They don't got to worry about that stigma no more of what this man's going to say or what's going to happen. So, and I'm not saying that's true, but just from the optics that's happening right now, it seems to be some of those optics happening. And, only they know what's happening. Us as a fan and podcasters, we're looking at it from afar. So, of course, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. I really don't. I can't even say what the Knicks going to do. I haven't, like I said, but I mean, I think the Julius Randle thing is a tough thing to deal with. We'll move on to the next segment. We won't keep up on the Fox thing for long, but great chat though, great information where y'all put it out there. Way to be engaged, real talk, man, and that's real good. But I look at it this way right here. Julius Randle, from what they were talking about the riff, with the fans and Tibbs, and we get on Julius Randle for the things he do wrong, rightfully so. But here's the thing that we got to keep in mind. Sometimes we complain about the ball runs through Julius Randle too much. The offense get too stagnant with Julius Randle. Julius Randle make too many turnovers. This is what everybody be saying. You know what I mean? I'm not. It don't bother me. Julius Randle, to me, did his thing for the Knicks. He came in here last year, the year before, played his game, balled out, got his money. That's fine. He just went through a little trial and tribulation this year. But I think that I don't know if he's going to be able to recover from that though, because the minute he got an off night, you know how it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need a fresh start. I do think Sacramento need a power forward. I think Julius Randle go out there be the number one in Sacramento. Because he got Halliburton. He'd be the number one dude out there. Then you got Halliburton and the guy, the followers, but I just think that, it's a win-win to me from a perspective of having De'Aaron Fox tell Julius Randle does one thing for the Knicks, a lot of things. It changes the offense up big time. Because now we're not talking about the ball being stagnant, not the ball getting thrown down to the post of Julius Randle, and we got to do this and do that. Now you got a point guard who literally can get down the lane. Get down the lane at ease. One of the fastest dudes in the league. This cat gets down the lane, and what does that do? That create opportunities. It creates opportunity for Fournier in the corner, RJ right there, lobs and Mitch, RVM with Obi, lob to Obi. I think his game fits New York City. Now, do we get him? It don't matter to me. If the Knicks don't take him, it don't matter what I think. I'm just saying, from my opinion, I think he would do well in New York because I do think that he got the game to fit the New York Knicks. And what we got young guys who like to run up and down the floor, athletic,
exactly,
and it could run with pace. We last in the league in pace. We so stagnant, it's crazy. So I just think that the dude game. It fits what we trying to do with the pieces we got. You throw a couple of dudes around De'Aaron Fox or RJ Barrett, or you find one more dude who can go get it and put him around them dudes, you got something special brewing in New York with all that young talent. He 24 years old. He'd be, when his contract is over, the kid would be like 28, 29 years old. You know what I mean? But I do think that, like when people talk about Ben Simmons, and they talk about guys like Westbrook. I get it, they can't shoot. But these cats can play basketball, man. They got skills.
And D, that's what I think a lot of people is forgetting. I'm sorry to cut you off on that, D, but I agree with you on that. I think we all getting caught up in the percentage of shooting. Think about this. When you play basketball out there in street ball, was you thinking about on your team? Was you thinking about the percentage of shots? You just was out there playing basketball. Who fit with who? What pieces fit with who? it's safe to say the pieces just didn't fit. What we're saying is, and I'm going with Divine, and I'm not speaking for Divine, but I hear what he's saying. The piece, if you add Fox to this team, it fits the pieces. It fits the young infrastructure that the Knicks have. We're able to get more people in playing time that they can't play. To me, it's well. I think if it's well, you could play basketball the way this team is meant to play basketball. Our team should not be last in pace right now. We should be in the top 5 in pace because that second unit is quick. That first unit needs to be quick. Pass that ball, move. What we're saying is that we have a point guard. Again, when is the last time we had a true point guard? We have a true point guard in the Fox, regardless if you're shooting 25%. The man can play defense. Team defense. It's no one man or woman can beat you and can take over a game and be efficient enough to win. You need 5 people. It takes 5. Not one person can win a championship by himself. Greatest player, Michael Jordan, can he play? Did he win a championship by himself? No. Did Kobe Bryant win a championship? No. He has Shaq. What we're saying is you need 5 pieces or 10 pieces that fit each other's mold. Fox fits the mold for his team because he's that point guard that we need. That's all I'm saying. Forget the percentages, Devon. Like, if you throw that out, I know guys in the chat talking about the percentage and the defense, but it's a team basketball game. We're saying that the pieces of the puzzle fits with him. And guess what? Now we're able to see some of the young core get more playing time that we also want. We want to see a Sims and McBride in there. We all do because they provide defense. Defense wins championships. So that's where I'm at, Devon. I know you want to get up the Julius Randle thing.
Yeah. No, that's good. And listen, I'm not the one advocating to say get rid of Julius Randle for Fox. That's not me advocating that because it's out there. So we got to talk about it. And I believe that De'Aaron Fox, just like Russell Westbrook, just like Ben Simmons, you can go around the whole landscape, and there's a lot of guards who can't shoot basketball, man, but you can't judge a person by only one aspect of their game. You know what I mean? Because the Philadelphia 76ers would not have had gave Ben Simmons a max contract if they thought that man wasn't worth it.
Hello.
You know what I mean? The Oklahoma City Thunder gave Russell Westbrook $200 million if he wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? The Rudy Gobert, $200 million if he wasn't worth it. De'Aaron Fox is worth his money because he could play basketball. The kid got game. I mean, you might not like his game, but he got game. And I think that's what we have to understand is that cat could do wonders for Obi Toppin and R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson and these guys because he played the pace that we want to play in New York. You know what I mean? And if we keep Julius Randle, and we keep him, that's fine. I wish we could keep him like Lawad said. I would love to give up Fournier, Burks, and
Noel
for him, but that's not what Sacramento wants. You know what I mean? That's what it is to me. It's not about what I want; it's what they want. If they willing to take Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Alec Burks for him, oh my God, let's make it happen. You know what I mean? That's
exactly what I'm saying. Like I said, but this has to be the question, Devon, for the Kings. If I'm the Kings and I'm in their war room, and I'm like, does Julius Randle if we replace Julius Randle for De'Aaron Fox, is he going to bring that same energy with the young core that we have building right now? Mm-hmm. So you got to play devil's advocate for them. How is he going to interact? We don't know how they're going to interact. So it's one of those options too. But I mean, this is, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me because you're bringing in a young guy that can provide things. Is Julius going to be a cancer or some of the things that we hear what's going on with him in New York? Is he going to do the same thing in Sacramento? So, but from the Knicks standpoint, we can't think like that. We just trying to get rid of the contract and bring in another young asset.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree with you, P. Ramos, on that, and I agree with a lot. I agree with everybody's segment up in here. Like I said, the Knicks decision makers see something that we don't see. See, we on the outside looking in. Only thing we see what's on the court. Only thing we see what they do on that basketball court. We don't see the locker rooms. We don't see the conversations. Right. We don't see the body language. All we see was on that basketball court when we watch it on TV. If the Knicks brass feel like they interested in De'Aaron Fox, that must be telling them something. You know what I'm saying? We can think it might not be the right move. We might think it's the wrong move. We can debate it. But if the Knicks front office think that De'Aaron Fox can make this team not only work in on the basketball court, but it might take something that we might not be noticing in the locker room. It might not be. It's not about Julius Randle's numbers. Julius Randle can get down 24, 11 last year, most improved player, all-star this year, 18 double rebounds and 5 or 6 assists. But that don't mean what's taking place outside the court is affecting what the Knicks do on the court.
Exactly.
That's the reason why the brass might be looking at. Listen, guys, when Julius Randle did what he did, I told everybody, I said, listen, man, that he might not be able to rebound from that. And I told you guys that maybe like a month after the day it happened. I'm like, you know what? Julius Randle might not rebound from that. He might not. You know what I mean? Because now internally, instead of him focusing on his game, he got to hear stuff that is not even related to the basketball court. Now the pressure comes when you get ready to jump, shoot a 3 ball. How are you going to feel some type of way with the pressure? Are you going to say, man, my mind is clear enough to go and just be in the game and get it popping? I think he's a professional. I think he could do it, but you shouldn't have to think that way. You should be freely when you go play basketball. And I just think that the Julius Randle situation, it came to that point where, man, it's going to be tough for him to deal with all this stuff going on for the rest of the year. But you know what? Let's hope that whatever way it go, I'm good with either one. I'm good with keeping Randle, and I'm not going to have a problem with De'Aaron Fox. I think the man, he came out of Kentucky. He could play ball. I think the man got skills. Just like Ben Simmons, like I said, Westbrook, the man got skills. You know, if at 9 out of 10 skills, I take a 7 out of 3. You say he don't play, he can't shoot the 3 ball well, he iffy on defense. I still take the other 80% of the rest of what he do. You know what I mean? And I just think that his situation down there in down in Sacramento was a little different, guy, because he's with the reason why he got drafted is because the team stunk. Because they was in the lottery or whatever. So they was in a rebuilding process. You can't expect the man to be to take the franchise and turn around by himself, because he can't. He didn't have the players with him. You know what I mean? Look at the moves they made. They gave Buddy Hield that money. Look at the money they gave Buddy Hield. What did it do? Buddy Hield not doing nothing. So sometimes your organization is screwing up things more than you think they are. Like you now you gave Fox the money, you gave him the money. Look at the money you gave Rashad Holmes. Look at the money you gave, and they not doing anything. And you just fired your coach. So that's more stuff we used to go through 2 years ago before Tibbs came here. You know what I mean? Say, hey Jay, what De'Aaron Fox was going through is what we was going through before Tibbs got here. Coach after coach.
Right.
You bring in talent, but you ain't put the veterans around in the shape and mold the talent. You let them learn on the fly by themselves. You know what I mean? So I do think it had a lot to do with that. But if it happened, cool. If it don't, it don't. I just think that sometimes we got to understand all the variables about what's going on with this stuff here, because it might not just be about Julius Randle, the number. Because like I said, we wasn't talking about De'Aaron Fox. We were definitely talking about half of the fan base was talking about getting rid of Julius Randle. And I just think that you could put Fox at the 1, and you can go out there and get a dude to put in Julius Randle's spot. You know what I mean? You could get it. If you did this hypothetically, say the Knicks did do that. They brought in De'Aaron Fox. Well, what they got sitting out there, draft picks, tradable pieces. Let's say they did do the Julius Randle his swap straight up. Now you got him. You still got Alex Burks contract. You still got Fournier or whoever. You still could put a power forward there. Now you got a young go. You got R.J. Barrett and De'Aaron Fox growing up together for the next, because you got to give R.J. Barrett his extension, right? So to me, you got R.J. Fox and whoever's there, like Grimes and these guys growing up together. You go out there and get a power forward to play that 4. Let's say you look around. I would roll with this here. Let's just say hypothetically you found a way to get Christian Woods to fill that 4 spot. He got a year left on his deal. So I would roll with De'Aaron Fox, R.J. Barrett, for now Fournier and Christian Woods and Mitch. That's better than what we got right now by a long shot.
No, again, you're right, D, and that brings me to the next point. Say this trade happens, right? Who's our starting 5?
Right now, I would say it's going to be De'Aaron Fox, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, You're going to have to throw Obi in there because he was that backup dude in Mitchell Robinson.
Okay.
So here's the caveat. The only thing you replace it to me is Obi Toppin with Kemba Walker. Because I think RJ and I think De'Aaron Fox and Randle kind of evens itself out to a degree. But now here's the thing: Obi gets more minutes. He rebound pretty well. Now you're playing with a dude in the front line, in the front court with RJ, Fox, and Obi. And you talking about pace?
Yeah. That's
pace.
Yeah.
That's pace. With Mitchell Robinson there, oh my God, man. And, like I said, and you're right, D-Nice. It's easy to find a scoring power forward. You know what I mean? But it's hard to find a elite point guard.
And Mike Lugo hit it on the dot. You got to address that perimeter D.
Mm-hmm.
Got long guys out on the perimeter now that can get out to the man, that can run out, that can close out on the man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Like for me, the lineup I would like to see is Fox. We move Barry back to version 2. Cam Reddish at the 3.
There you go.
Obi at the 4 and Mitch at the 5. And then you replace them. You bring Evan Fournier off the bench with Grimes, because I think Evan Fournier and Grimes together on that floor, woo, lights out from the 3. Right. With the IQ and an Alec Burke and a Noel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's here there, but let's see what happens, man. I just believe that this Knicks brass is not going to make the same mistakes for years and years where we get bad contracts and then we just give away the farmhouse. We're not doing that anymore. These guys are very smart at the way they do things as far as getting players in and getting assets back. So whatever they do, I'm confident that they will bring in someone that's going to help out and also save us in the long run at whatever they do. So I am confident in them by doing that because their moves has been pretty good the past couple of years since they've been here.
Yeah. I think
6'3". Fox is 6'3".
Yeah, and I do think this as well because I think the Milwaukee Pelicans are trying to get him because now you throw him with Brandon Ingram and they get Zion back or whatever, stuff like that. And, it's just that he's a talent, you know what I mean? And I do think that if he was the point guard for the Knicks, you can go get a power forward. Man, like I said, to do the salary thing, I don't got a problem if Houston Rockets looking to give up Christian Woods. So I think Kemba Walker and Randle to me is not better than Fox and Christian Woods in the Knicks starting lineup. Period. Hands down. No. Let's be real. De'Aaron Fox, and hypothetically, I'm just saying hypothetically. I'm not saying we getting them. I'm just saying if you could do that, Christian Woods and De'Aaron Fox is better than Kemba Walker and Randle, hands down. Because, like I said, Christian Woods can do some of the things Randle do, and Kemba Walker right now at where he at can't do nothing that De'Aaron Fox can do.
Right.
And that's a linky team. That's a pretty nice sized team there. Because that's the only problem with our team right now. We so small. Other than Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle 6'8", 6'9", Barrett 6'7", Fournier 6'6", Kemba Walker 6'1" or whatever. That's a small team, and that perimeter defense is so crazy. But I do think that a guy like Fox, who's lanky a little bit, I think he can cover more ground than Kemba Walker. But then having my man, them two boys like Christian Woods who stretch the floor, him and Mitch would be a nightmare down there with RJ Barrett or whoever. I just think that'd be crazy. So
right.
It is what it is, man. We just want to get it out there, guys. Yeah. Great conversation. Y'all cats got some great valid points there, man. I like to just go with you guys because that to me that's what makes it, man. Y'all guys more opinions matter way, but just as more than mine. Regardless if I'm running the show or not, you guys are the real wise. You know what you talk about. You're savvy. I always just trying to make sure we cover everything from all angles because we always got to take a lot of things into consideration when it comes to this trade stuff. What's the reason why they want to trade them? It might not be because of the money. It might not be because of the talent. It might be because of something that we don't even know about. You know what I mean? And, You know, and it might be some rumblings. It might be something he said the wrong way, or somebody tripped somebody off, or they might literally think that, you know what, we it ain't working. We 4-28. It ain't his fault, but he's our prime dude right now. And I think that it's best for the Knicks to get a guy in there who can open this thing up. And I think De'Aaron Fox, one thing about, he will open this thing up for the Knicks.
Right.
Yeah, and I said, like I said, we ain't the only ones want him. You know what I mean? The Pelicans want him. And a lot of other teams probably would take him, to be honest with you. Hey, put like this here, Philly was willing to take him.
Right.
With the Ben Simmons deal. Can you imagine De'Aaron Fox playing with Joel Embiid? Oh, my God.
Hey, D, real quick. I got to salute to my brother. Salute God, Allah Wise. Hey, Allah Wise, they say the same thing about Trae Young, and they say the same thing about Steph Curry. Look at them guys. I'm gonna leave it at that. I saw his comment. I had to respond to him because he always here, but I just got to get that example, man. We got to stop saying these guys is, you know, this, that, because those are the same guys. We like, damn, I wish we would have drafted them guys or could have got them somehow. You know, them guys are lighting the league up. So, I mean, IQ 6'3", 100 and something. So it's like, and IQ does good. So, again, it's not about how big or small or tall these guys are. It's about, do these pieces fit? We don't know, but based on the way these guys played, the Fox is averaging 18.6 points per game right now. I mean, young core, let's go for it, man. Let's go for it. Because what are we doing now? What's happening now? Everybody in the chat, are you okay with this current Knicks team you have right now? Are you okay with the way Julius Randle's playing and can take Julius Randle for the next 3-4 years on this team with the same attitude the way he's playing? Can you do that? That's the question you got to ask yourself. I know I can't. I'm trying to win. And Nebraska's trying to win right now. And, you know, we as Knicks fans have been treated unfairly the past 20-something years because nobody's caring. And if they were as passionate as us on these streams are, the Knicks would have won championships years ago. Bring those players in here that really want to be here and really want to be here to play, and I guarantee you we'll get close to that championship level team. But right now, we can't have these sometimey players coming to New York because they're not going to be able to last. We need tough skin guys that's going to say, you know what? When I'm playing bad, I got to put up a shut up and do what I got to do. And if I'm not scoring and if I'm not shooting my threes, guess what? I'm going to play hard-nosed defense, something that the city appreciates. We need those type of players here. Where are those players at? These are the type of players that we need on this team, D.
Yeah. Well, you know, first of all, it's not the size dog to fighting the dog. Kemba Walker was a four-time All-Star.
Right.
13 All-NBA, and the man one of the shortest dudes in the business.
Yeah.
I don't have a, like I said, for me, when I look at players, I just look at their overall game, what they could do, and how they could change the trajectory of what somebody's doing. I think, you know, we're going to move on to Alex Burks, but I do think that he could change the trajectory of what we do because of the position that he played, and we could feel Julius Randle need. We could feel that. I'm not even worried about that. Julius Randle ain't the only power forward in the league. The point guard situation into New York has been an atrocity for many years. So if the Knicks did do it, I would not have a problem with it. I think Fox would come in here and get it popping. I think he'll light the garden up with his game. Because him and Obi Toppin and these guys will get it popping up in there, man. I just think that up and down game going to be crazy. We last in the league in pace. He's a better defender, at least from a height-wise and maybe an effort-wise. I don't think we should judge him that he can't play defense when you on a team that don't even play defense, period. You know what I mean? I think it's just a different animal, but we're going to keep the thing going. We'll see. We're not guaranteed it's going to happen. He might not even come to the Knicks. But being that it was out there in the atmosphere and in the stratosphere, we just wanted to throw it out there because it was a big buzz about it. Julius Randle deletes Knicks out his IG. De'Aaron Fox took them without their ID. So, and you might have thought that it might have been, it's noise. It's just noise. It's just speculation. Trade chatter. It's the time of year, the deadline coming along. Mm-hmm. It's great conversation though, because we get to break down a lot of stuff about this guy, so we know what he could bring to the table, what he can't bring to the table. But that's one of the loud things we heard today. You know what I mean? That's the reason why we probably really on here was because we did hear about that. You know, we heard it from sources, you know, out there and on the ESPNs, out there. So we heard about it. So we just wanted to put it out there. I'm good either way. If you don't get him, I'm good. If you get him, I'm good. I don't. It doesn't. But I tell you, I know he won't hurt us. I think De'Aaron Fox makes the Knicks with a chance to make the Knicks real good. If you replace, if you had to get him with Julius Randle and you move a couple of pieces here and there, you just don't know. You just don't know who might fall down the pipeline at that 4th spot. And I think you can get a guy out there that can rebound like Julius Randle. They out there, and they can shoot like Julius. They out there. I mean, and he might not cost you on aspiring, might not cost you that much. So it gives you a chance to compete. At least try to get back in this thing, because I think right now, the way the team probably constructed, we might not make the play-in. But let's say the Knicks brass savvy enough, and that trade do happen, they wind up getting a guy, another trade that could happen with Burks and Kemba or Noel. They might luck up and get a 4 there with a couple of draft picks or something that might fill that 4th spot where Julius Randle was at and make this team potent. It can happen. So I think to me it's about the position. I think we can use a point guard like him and bring in another power forward to fill Julius Randle's spot and make that team better.
Right.
But other than that, guy, the Alex Burks situation is the one that's interesting to me as well. We hear a lot of noise about him, like they were saying that the Knicks were kind of willing to do it, depending on if they can attach another movable asset with another asset with it to move it out of there. Alex Burks situation is an interesting one as well. Like what I said earlier, I wouldn't have a problem if it was Fournier, Burks, and Kemba. I just don't know if that's what they want. You know what I mean? But I do know they don't have a problem with Randle. Sacramento don't have a problem with him. I don't know about the other guy. I wish we could. The man, that'd be Fox and Randle would be special. It would be special, right? You know what I mean? But obviously that, one, I think they're looking at one contract for the other. But if you could move the other three, like what I said earlier, I'm good with that. I'd rather do that. No, in a heartbeat, I would rather move Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Alex Burks for De'Aaron Fox and some draft picks. I just don't know if they're gonna do that. Because they'd be like this. Yeah, I gotta keep Fournier for 3 years, $20 million the next couple of years with a team option. I don't know if they're willing to do that. But if they could, then we go that route. But I think the Alex Burks thing, though, I do think that if you get a second for that, or you can move into a contender, like look at Utah situation with Joe Ingles going down. Alex Burks played out there, started his career out there in Utah. He's familiar with that type of activity. He was out there in Colorado, out there in Wills country, neck of the woods, excuse me. He's another guy they're talking about that's out there. What we do with Alex Burks. I like Alex Burks, but he's coming a little bit hit and miss for me.
Right. And again, if they could get an asset for Alec Burks, why not? Can we see Alec Burks in it for his whole contract for 3 years if his thing's not working? No. You get him to somebody that could really use his and then get what we want out of him. So Alec Burks is another guy. Like we take, like, again, if we keep Julius Randle and we take away Burks' contract with the Noel contract, we're saving money now. Now we got a chance to really build. So we have no money right now going into the summer. So we're trying to stretch these contracts to get money. So if we got to make trades over the summer, we can make things happen. Because, again, I'm not comfortable with this team going forward as they construct because they're not showing us. Even though we got to throw last year. Last year is last year. What about this year? You're only good as the person that's going to take you to that next level. And right now, that person is not taking us there. So what are we going to do? We just going to say, you know what? Don't forget, if this was normal years, now we got the play-in just came in like 2 years ago. Normally, it was only 8 teams to make the playoffs. We got to play like the old times. We can't worry about getting in 10 slots. We want to be in that top 5 slot, man. Bring back those type of playing years. We need that. So my thing is, we need to figure out, is it Julius Randle or is these other guys, or are we going to say forget Julius and build over new, or are we keeping it and say, you know what, all right, Julius, we're going to bring you the pieces you need. Here it is. We got 30 games. The time is ticking. We only have 30 games left, guys and ladies. 30 games left on this season. What are the New York Knicks going to do? Mm-hmm. Again, Devon, 10 years ago, this week. You know what 10 years ago was this week was?
Yeah, I had to recall. Had to remind me, brother. Been a minute.
Let me tell you something. It was the Jeremy Lin story that came out around this time 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Linsanity.
Linsanity. Not saying we're gonna find another Linsanity, but I mean we need something. We need something to look forward to in these next 30 games. And if we make the playoffs again, what are we gonna do? And that's all us Knicks fans are looking for. We just want hard working team. And if these guys can't work hard, it's like we got now we're gonna go into another year of saying, okay, we're gonna get this guy. This guy's gonna come in. I don't want to have to think like I want to know what team I got going in for the following year to say if I use more pieces, we're good to go. But we're all over the place right now, and they have to figure this out in 30 games right now. It's a hard job to do, but they can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Real quick. P. Ramos said, "What in the world, Steve Scott and World Wide West doing for?" I thought they pulled the. I think you got to give them guys time, man. They just came here last year. I mean, Rome wasn't built in one day. They came here. Think about it. Leon Rose in their first year with the New York Knicks, they took us to the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else much I can say other than that. I don't think Leon Rose is the reason why we're not doing good this year. I think he's the part. I think the reason why you might have given him his negative part up because of the Kemba Walker thing. I think the Kemba Walker thing was probably the one that hurt us the most. I think it affected this team because that was the type of player that we needed. But other than that, I don't have a problem because I still think the way they signed these contracts, they small movable contracts. That's the beautiful thing about what they guys did. They did not mess up the infrastructure. The only person they gave a long contract to was Julius Randle, and that was one year with. But he got a team option in that last year. So that's only $56 million this year in 2 more years. And he got a contract and get out of here. I think they did. I don't think they did a bad job the front office. I actually think they did pretty good to keep the infrastructure the way it is. They drafted very well. And you think about the Knicks, other than the Kevin Knox and a Frank Ntilikina trade. Look what Scott Perry bought. He bought Mitchell Robinson in here. He bought R.J. Barrett in here. He bought Quentin Grimes in here. They drafted well. They drafted well. I just think that and I do think that with the way they made the selection for last year's free agency, I didn't have a problem bringing them guys back because they helped this team get there. But what I did like back there was only 2-year deals, not 3. And so after this year, they got 1 more year because the next year is a team option. So they really only got 1 more year next year. They could move all them contracts. Right. But and that's what's so good about it. Wait till the end of this year, guys, because I think if they don't even do the Fox thing, they could move Alex Burks, Kemba Walker, Noel, and a couple of maybe 1 or 2. They back to $40 million. You know what I mean? And then you see here's the caveat to that. You got to take that money and give it to RJ. You got to get something to Mitch. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm good with what they did because they kept it enough where once you get rid of all the contracts, you can give RJ his money.
Right.
Be here. You can give Mitchell Robinson. You can give Mitchell Robinson Noel's money. You know what I mean? Because Mitch is playing the way he's playing right now. I think he's deserving it to get to do what he's doing. But I do think that we got to think about the money going forward. Are we going to keep RJ? What is RJ going to demand on the market?
Right.
What are we going to give Cam Reddish? What are we going to give Obi Toppin? Because his contract, he only did a rookie year 3. What are we going to do with Mitch? Yes. So but that's why I'm not disappointed what they did because what they did do is that we're going to try to make the playoffs, get in the playoffs again, and try to get a little further. But we're not going to do it to the detriment of our cap because they can move them dudes, all of them. And then and then you think about it 2 years from now, Derrick Rose got a team option, not a player option. He got a team option. You know what I mean? So I think they did well. I think they did well because a lot of guys last year, they went back to their prospective teams because they was getting 5-year deals. You know what I mean? A lot of guys went back to their teams in the free agency last year because they were getting 5-year deals. And obviously, the way we were built, I don't think DeMar DeRozan, even though my man Scott Perry wanted him, but he went to who I'd rather play with, Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball, or would I rather play with Randle and R.J. Barrett? And he chose to go with Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball because that they talented. So I do think I think we fine though. I think we'd be
Right.
fine no matter which way it goes. Okay, we should be fine.
And like us as Knicks fans, these guys just got in this position. They never did this position. These guys was high level executives. And to my man Holla Wise, it was a feel good story, my man. So absolutely. And but other than that, Devon, you know, I just think that, and I believe in them. Like the deals that they didn't hurt us.
Right.
In normal years, these deals will hurt us for 5, 6, 7, 8 years to come. They're hurt us. Now we got some wiggle room to work. So they rolled the dice. It just didn't work. Now it's like, how do we get back out of it? Okay, trade this piece. We right back in this thing. You know, and that's all. You know, like their board is like, you know what? They got a plan. You know, when you go into a business and you're working, you have a 4 or 5 year plan. What is their plan? Their plan is, okay, trade tradable assets, get more assets back. And if it's not working, guess what? We roll the dice because we got some good contracts. We can blow it up at any time we want to blow it up. And you know, they might not hear the noise. They hear the noise from us, but I'm not sure if they really hearing it. Let's see if they hearing this if a trade does happen, D.
Yeah,
and,
But they're in a good place. Yeah, they're in a good place. You think about it, they got this. Here you go, the prime example. And the reason why I think they're in a good place for this reason right here. You know, per Shams, the NBA bumping up the salary to 121. Now here check out the caveat to that. You moving up to 121. You got Joakim Noah $6 million coming back off the books.
Right.
You got $1 million in the Cam Reddish deal. You got $1 million in the deal you did with Brock Aller did with the Cleveland Cavaliers to get Rondo over there. So you got another $2 million. So that right there is $8 million. So if you move Kemba Walker $9 million, that's $17 million. You move Alex Burks $10 million, that's $27 million. You move Noel's $10 million, that's $37 million. All right.
Yeah.
37 million.
Keep going.
And then you say if you find a way to will and deal Fournier's contract, which is possible, or Derrick Rose, you right back where you started with all that young talent. You know what I mean? So I do think that they're not in a bad place. I think they did it right. I think they had to do what they had to do because this free agent class is going to be supposed to be one of the better classes. I do think that. You know, see, that's what's hard about being in a situation that we being you competing against everybody else. Sometimes you got to strike while the iron's hot because you might lose them to the next dude. You know, because and what did Leon Rose and them say too? Remember what they said, God, when they came in, we're gonna find that disgruntled player or whatever, and we're gonna be able to get a player that way. And so far, it's probably they trying to stand true to form. They probably think about if I could move this guy and get De'Aaron Fox, a talent like that, without having to go and compete in a free agency for him. You know, because you ain't gonna be able to compete. You don't have the money unless you will a deal. But I think they put themselves in a good position to will a deal and get that salary cap back to where they needed to be. And I think they might be. I think they might be all right.
All right. Look at the way they acquired Kemba. None of us seen that coming, and it excited the fan base. But you know what? It was another roll of dice that dice didn't work. It just didn't work on that. But if it did work, them guys would look like geniuses. And Devon, that first game of the year, when we both was at that game, we did not see this coming. That was probably the best game of the year, right? 3 overtime games. Guys were shooting. That ball was moving, passing. Knicks was looking like a whole. These guys looking like geniuses that first, but the season happened, you know, and then we got to see a bigger sample size of them. But you know what? To their credit, they got to clean it up, and they will.
Yeah, they will. And I'm excited about the future of the Knicks, man. I'm excited because of the young talent we brought in here. We drafted well. I mean, you know, we got not only that, we got future first round draft picks. We got all our draft picks. We got enough second round draft picks. We got all our first round draft picks, and the Clippers one, and you got the Dallas one. You know, I mean, you know, so we in a position to do some good things. We are, and that's why I'm pretty impressed with the way this front office came here last year. They took over last year. Tibbs took over last year, you know, and we got better. We went from 21 wins to 41 wins, and you know what? And that was phenomenal. after being in the doldrum for the last 8-9 years prior to that. So you know, that to me, I thought that was phenomenal. You know what I mean? And whether they overachieved or not, they did it. So this year, I just think that they just took a little step back on the defense side of the ball, and the Kimba situation didn't work out because remember they got benched for almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. He didn't play. Now he's back. In the last 7 games, we lost 6. On the one we won, he only played 22 minutes or something of that nature. So that experiment didn't work out. So, and that's the reason why we where we at right now, 24 and 28 or whatever the case may be, something like that. That's the reason why we 4 games under 500 because a lot of that stuff they connect. And finally, Kemba Walker is starting. I'm not Kemba Walker. Evan Fournier is starting to get it popping. Remember at the beginning of the season, he wasn't popping. He wasn't popping. He was sneaking it up for a while. So I just think that they had the right mindset. It just didn't work out. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what I mean? So you got to find a way to either revamp or retool and have the same mindset that the Knicks got enough talent to be in the playoffs if they make a move here or there. I think I think Grimes is going to be a keeper in New York. I think I like Obi, I like McBride, I like all the young talent we got. You put the right other pieces around them young guys because they not ready to carry a franchise unless we just doing a full rebuild. If the Knicks is doing a full rebuild, then you know what you do? You get rid of all the veterans. I don't care. You can go back to when Kevin Knox was a rookie with Fizdale. That was the case. Just throwing a bunch of DG leaguers and young talent and let them lose games. But I don't think that's what the Knicks are trying to do. I don't think they're going that route. If they were going that route, then it's easy just to say move these guys. But I don't think they're going that route. I think the New York Knicks got a taste of the playoffs. I think they after last year getting in the playoffs, they want to redeem themselves. And Tibbs is going to fight in this thing. Believe it or not, he's going to fight till they say mathematically you out of it. You could book that.
Yeah.
You could book that. He's going to fight until he say we mathematically eliminated. Then he play the young guy. That's the Knicks every year. They always been doing it. They're not giving up on this thing until it's over. So if they're not going to give up on it and the trading deadline coming, guys like Alex Burks, Kemba Walker, Noel, all them guys got to get replaced by the guys we got here. Like to me, Fournier's contract got to be RJ's contract. Noel's contract got to be Mitch's contract moving forward. You know what I mean? That we got to get that. You know, so I think they're gonna will and deal and do what they could do because the guys that I wanted, they got traded. One of them got traded today. You know what I mean? And that one's right there was this the Bledsoe trade. The Bledsoe and Robert Covington and Norman Powell went over to the Clippers for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Kenan Johnson. I think the Knicks traded that pick for them in the second round pick to the Blazers for Norman Powell and Robert Covington. Yep. Right. So that was a good. That was a good trade for them because I think they still thinking that they can get in the playoffs and win. So I do think it's a good trade for the Clippers. And I think people may think that it's a trade for. It might be a bad trade for Portland, but not necessarily because here's why. Bledsoe's contract is up. Justin Winslow's contract is up. I think, and you're not going nowhere right now because Damian Lillard's not going to play this year. So what they did was a shed of money. Now they got Nurkic's contract coming off again next year. His contract is up. So all they did was took on contracts that they can get rid of, and next year go get a guy that could play with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum if he's still here. Now you go get some guys because maybe that was a smart move by them because they wasn't going nowhere. Not with Damian Lillard out. So they said, you know what? We're going to take off the rest of the season, get rid of them contracts, have the money to go into free agency, and bring in a couple of guys that's going to help Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, whatever else they're going to do. It wasn't a bad move for them at all. And they only gave up a second-round pick. And like I said, Bledsoe and them gone pretty soon, so it don't even matter.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, Knicks probably could have did something like that. And you said you wanted that trade. You wanted Covington and Powell. That'd have been great, you know. But like I said, hey, Devon, do you think what's your timeline on the Knicks trade? Do you think we make a trade this weekend?
You know what? As we go into it, like I said, big or small or none. I mean, we might not do anything, but I would think it'd be. I do think that if we do something, it's gonna be minimal. I don't think we do nothing big. If it ain't De'Aaron Fox because it's out there, see, I'm only going by what's out there. I think if it ain't De'Aaron Fox, the biggest thing I hear out there.
Right.
other than trying to move Burks or maybe, especially Kemba Walker, if the Knicks probably got to move somebody to give Cam Reddish a spot, to make sure Quentin Grimes is guaranteed a spot. If they don't do nothing big, they're going to do moves like that.
Right.
Because I don't think the Knicks is out of it. At least in my mind, I don't think they are. I think that if they come back off this West Coast trip and it goes the opposite direction, then I think they would. And that's what's so interesting to me. The time of trading deadline about when they about to come off this trip. You understand what I'm saying? So let's see how this West Coast trip go. If these guys come back and they're around 500, they might say, you know what, we right there. We might can make a push to get in the box to play in, or whatever. If it was not, then they might say, okay, you know what? So I think the next couple of games will tell. But it is noise out there with Alex Burks name out there. That's about the only one I hear out there. Kemba Walker, obviously, would love to shed the 4-year contract, but I don't know how easy that's going to be. But I do think the names are out there, though.
Hey, D, I'm going to throw something out there. We have the second hardest schedule through 30 games in the league right now. If the Knicks have a winning record, we would get in that playoff. We get to play in.
Yep.
We will get there, and guess what? Then we'll become hot because we're battling all these playoffs, these teams. If we get hot, whoever we get in this league, if we get hot, I can see us getting to that next playoff level. If it's 30 games, make a break right now that we got to go in and perform. So that's what it's a lot of pressure on the Knicks brass to say, all right, what are we going to do? It's on Tibbs. All right, what rotations you going to get? Now it's make a break. What are we doing? So it's going to be interesting. And us as Knicks fans, I can't wait to sit back and see because we don't know what's going to happen. That's the fun part. And then we're right there on the cusp of the play-in and making the playoffs. We're a couple games back, but you know what? It can happen because we've seen this happen last year. So I'm excited about that aspect, Devon.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think a trade is going to happen though before Monday.
I think so. I think something's going to happen. Like I said, you know, and what's interesting about it, you know, like I said, the biggest topic probably today was the De'Aaron Fox thing. I mean, it's out there. You know what I mean? It's out there. And like I said, I'm on. You know me. I'm on my phone last night, sitting at the kitchen table, whatever, just twittering and all that. And like I said, you know, they talk about when they said Julius Randle deleted his Instagram and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, because like I said, when we played Sacramento, you know, at the end of the game, I mean, people got to have relationships with people. When I see Julius Randle talking to the trainer over there for a minute in Sacramento, you know, I'm like, okay. Then next thing you know, Grimes, somebody signed Fox or somebody signed Grimes, Jersey one way or the other. Then all of a sudden now, you know, you hear this noise. It kind of makes you want to put two and two together. You know what I mean? But like I said, we only speculate. We don't have no inside sources out here. Not the Knicks real talk. I don't know what's going on. I just only what I get it from like here out there out in the stratosphere. But you never know. You just never know. You know, you got to keep your ears glued, and your ears open, and your eyes open, your ears glued to the ground and see what it is, and see what the rumbling. You know, but I do think that it can be a possibility. I can definitely see it. I definitely can see it, for sure, and we had to see how it go. But other than that, like Kemba Walker, I think you got to resolve that elephant in the room, KJ. I think that's one of the biggest ones you got to resolve. Is the Kemba Walker situation.
We lost the last 7 to 9 games. You know, and you've been. I got to give you your props. You've been saying this with him in the lineup. It's just not there. You know, I try to give him his just due, but it's not there. It's too inconsistent. Something has to change, and we've been saying this since the beginning. Like, what is going to change? Like, what is Tibbs going to do? And it's like I'm fearful now. We even if these trades do happen, Tibbs is so stuck on his rotations. He don't care who get traded. Look at Cam Reddish. We just got him. We got an asset on defense over there, and he's not playing him in the game. And we need defensive players. So I don't know, but obviously it's a clog jam. And if you're not going to use him, get somebody else in there, trade him away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I do. I'm just going to update tweets. I do think that you know, I think he will get there. I just think that we got to free up a roster spot because, like I said, they trying to showcase a guy that they probably want to get rid of, and they think you know. I think that's what it really boiled down to. I think they got listen. In order for us to make the move with these guys, we have to. Oh, I did do that. We have to let people know what they can do. Like right now, you can't tell me Evan Fournier haven't raised this trade value. His stock is going up right now. The way he probably shooting one of the best threes in the league. His game, he's starting to get a foot in. He done upgraded his trade value big time.
You still getting rid of Evan Fournier?
I'll get rid of anybody. I'll depend what the deal is worth. If it benefits us in a better way.
I mean, to set a contract to save money. You know what get rid of?
Yeah. Especially if we because I like what Evan Fournier do, and I'm the biggest disappointed guy. Disappointed Evan Fournier for me early in the year, but since lately he's come around, he's scoring the ball, but it doesn't justify what he do on the other side. But I don't think they have him and Kemba Walker. I think the Knicks can. I think they could definitely do better. Like I said, if you look at the lineup that I said earlier with De'Aaron Fox, R.J. Barrett, like you said, Cam Reddish, was a guy I said Woods and Mitch. That's a solid team right there.
Yeah,
solid team. So yeah, I think they could do better. I think Cam Reddish can grow into giving us a better defense game than Evan Fournier. And if he gets his game going, he can shoot the ball pretty well. He got size, you know what I mean? And I think that makes a difference. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't be opposed to moving Evan Fournier if you can. If it's going to give, other guys the opportunity. Even if you put Cam Reddish and Grimes numbers together and they give you what Evan Fournier can get you, then you still won because you won on the defense side.
And that's the type of players we need. We need defenders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the offense. Offense, I'll take the offense as a bonus, but we bring some defensive-minded players in here. That defense will turn into points because now we getting steals. We can fast break it, and we have the guys that can get up there up and down that floor, especially on that second unit that can fly. So we bring in some hard-nosed defenders. Defense wins championships, and that's what the Knicks need is defense. Defensive-minded guys that can get in here and do what they got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's not too much out there that and if you look at everything else, like I said, everybody talk about the Karis LeVerts and all these guys. You're talking about it's a lot of people, like Tim said in the press conference. You hear 100 trades, probably one only get made.
Yeah.
He's been in the game a long time. He was the president of basketball operations. Like he said, you hear a lot of trades, probably 9 out of 10. Out of all of 100 trades, probably one happened. But this year, I think it'll be a little different because it already started with it. Different. Think about it. We already did our trade line deal, and we got Cam Reddish. That wasn't a trade. That was before the trade deadline. Like today, Norman Powell and them, they went over. The Clippers got Norman Powell and Covington. That's going to help them tremendously. They got grit down there, bro. I mean, now you got Mook Morris, him. Oh my goodness, I think that's going to be good for them, man. Especially for PG3 come back. So I mean, yeah, it's going to be moves made, and I think teams looking to fight. Now, see, that's what I love about this playing. It made the league more competitive. Now, not everybody trying to. Two things I got to say, Adam Silver did real well. That playing or buying, whatever you want to call it, and making the lottery harder to tank.
Right.
And I thought that was good because think about it, Zion Williamson went to somebody who was the 14th pick. They had the 14th pick. They wound up moving way up to get him. So they wasn't tanking. And they had Brandon Ingram and all them guys. So I think he did a good job with the NBA, what he did with that and all that stuff, man. So I do think we're gonna be there. I do think we're gonna be there. Like I said, we make a deal or two. We just need to do something to free up some roster spots. To make sure that when Derrick Rose come back, Quentin Grimes don't lose out. And if we said we probably take a structure where we are right now, and Derrick Rose come back from injury, who goes to the situational situation?
It's gonna be Grimes.
It's gonna be Grimes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Grimes. Yep. So I do think that the Al Bergson and Kemba Walker's free them 2 spots up, man. Free them 2 spots up. Because to me, Grimes is in the rotation now. So when Derrick Rose come back, you move 2 spots. I mean, Cam Reddish still to get there. He'll be the backup 3. I think Kemba Walker and Alex Burks are the ones that you got to move if you don't do nothing else.
Right, and that's what we're saying because of the money. But like I said, you could throw in players. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you could throw in a Noel. You could throw in you said Alberg and Fournier. Get rid of them 3 contracts. We right back in this thing. With a draft pick, you can give a 2nd round pick, or you can give a future 1st round or something.
Yeah,
or expiring. So you could bring that in there. But my thing is, it's just so I want something to happen, D, and I'm pretty sure you do too, and the rest of the Nick Real Talk family on the chat. I'm pretty sure all of you lovely men and women want to do something. It's just that what are we going to do? And that's what that has to be. And then if we do something, is Tom Thibodeau going to play more people, or are they going to play the assets that we just brought in? Like, so it's a lot of moving pieces here. You know, like if we get the players we want, we bring Fox in, but how long is he going to play these players now? Then they got to get acclimated into the system, and we're pressed for time right now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of what ifs, but it's going to make for a great story if the New York Knicks can do what they got to do.
I like the stuff Frank Montos put out there in the last chat. He was like, Ricky Rubio, Kemba Walker. Ricky Rubio's out for the season. You're just gonna waive him, and you freeing up a roster spot. You like I don't even have a problem. If I'm not mistaken, I think Joe Ingles was an aspiring. Double check me on that. But even if Joe Ingles was an aspiring contract, and you could move Alex Burks out to Utah, he got drafted by them. He know the game, he know the system, he know that he's familiar with the surroundings. You can move Alex Burks and Kimbo out there to help him catch out. You know what I mean? Kimbo ain't got to start. You have Mike Conley there. He can come off the bench behind Mike Conley.
Right.
So you moving now. You freeing up 2 roster spots. Now there you go. So it might not be nothing major happening. It might be small moves. It might be smalls. Kevin Rodriguez said he don't think they should trade Randle. I don't have a problem with that neither, Kev. I think they can keep him. I just think that but if you keep Randle, just move somebody in that point guard spot. I'm good with Randle. I'm not the one to advocate to move him, but I just know that if the situation, depending on what's going on around the front office, I don't know.
Right.
You got the buzzer swirling out there. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Frank said Ingles is aspiring. So there you go. That's the move right there. For Joe Ingles, you take Alex Burks and Kemba Walker and send him out to Utah.
He hurt right now, right? Devon Ingles?
He hurt for the season. MCL.
He's done for the season, right? Yeah.
Yes. So then you know Ingles not playing. You move Kemba Walker and Alex Burks. Derrick Rose come back. You got Cam Reddish in and you got Grimes in, guaranteed to get rotational spots. You roll with that. Just roll with it. Now you're gonna have to figure out the point guard situation for starting perspective. But now y'all say y'all want to see Deuce McBride. Do you think Deuce McBride to get into the playoffs? Then you throw Deuce McBride out there, or do you think it's going to be quickly until Rose get back? So it'll be either this or that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But then we gonna have to get to the playoffs. And here's the situation: when we get to the playoffs, we got to make sure quickly and McBride and them boys can handle the pressure. Let's say if we get there. But it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting going down the line. There's a lot of stuff can happen. There's a lot of directions the Knicks can go in, and I do think that they're gonna do something. And I don't know how big or small it may be, but I think they might do something. They have to do something. They're gonna do it. In order for them to get in the playoff, they got to change up something. KJ.
Yeah.
Something.
And shout out to D Nice. Yeah, we have to call Walt Clyde Frazier back. That's why.
Right.
We don't got a true point guard. That's the problem. That's our biggest issue is point guard play. Point guard. When D Rose is here, it looks good, but without a true point guard, the offense is stagnant. So that's why we got to keep talking about point guards because we need one bad. And what we're saying, Fox provides that, And I just believe a trade is going to happen tomorrow. Trade is going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, look at Frank. That's another good one Frank Monto got. Rubio hurt. Saxon out for the season. You take Fournier and Kimber, set him out there. And now I do think that Cleveland take Fournier because they trying to get it popping. You know what I mean? They fourth in the Eastern Conference right now. So they are literally going to be in the playoffs. So I don't think they wouldn't waive on Fournier. Because they're not going to sign Sexton anyway. Not with Garland, not the way Garland playing. And
another surprise team.
Yep. So that's another thing you could look at. And let me ask the question, just for the fun of it. If the Julius Randle thing went down, you know what? You got Laurie Marketing playing the 3 down there. What about they bought stretch 4 Laurie Marketing over here? What about you bought Laurie Marketing in the deal? And brought him over here to play with Fox and them guys. Another stretch 4, big dude, can get it popping. Got size, can shoot a 3. So see that's why I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for the Knicks. Knicks got a good chance to do a lot of good things. Depends what they do, but they're in a good situation to make some good wheeling and dealing. There's some players out there, like I said, the Christian Woods is out there You go, for us, what's good about that, we got picks. We don't have to give up all our young talent. We got picks. You know what I mean? You got picks and young talent. If you had to sacrifice a Quickly or McBride to get a player in here, or I wouldn't do nothing with Grimes. I really wouldn't do nothing with McBride, but what are you gonna do if you're not gonna be able to sign all these guys? You ain't gonna be able to sign them all down the line. You got a lot of draft picks that's never gonna suit up for the Knicks. They're gonna trade some of them. They got a lot of them. So I do think there's a good opportunity to make it happen. Salute my man Julian, salute my brother, salute to you. Thanks for coming in. Yo, salute to the whole chat, man. Y'all cats been popping all day, man. Real talk. Y'all got it going in there. Oh, y'all great minds in there got it popping, man. We appreciate that. But yeah, KJ, it's a lot of opportunities that they can do. They can go a lot of ways. They got some versatility, flexibility, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, man, with the salary cap going up next year. Yep, you're 100% right, Frank Monto. They are good trade partners. They really are. All three of them teams are good trade partners. So and that's what you have to look at. You know what I mean? The people who need things. We got people to need. Somebody like the Lakers and Utah and Cleveland, they can use the players we got because they in there. Yeah, they in there. They fighting for playoff runs. So can you imagine Alex Burks playing on one of them teams? Can you imagine, you can even throw Dallas in the mix with it. You know what I mean? Nerlens Noel could help a team. If we can say, he kind of get going, his knee get better, whatever. But he can help a team in the playoffs.
Noel definitely can help. It's just, can he stay on the floor? That's been his issue this year. Noel missed about 25 games this year. He may be more for us. It's like, if we had him in some of the other games, we might not have the record we had. But it's the same thing with Mitch. When Mitch went down last year, it's pretty much the same thing. It's washing down. These guys have gotten better through the year, but my thing is with this team, it's just the inconsistency. I've been saying it. At the beginning of the year, when free agents, we both sat up and said, what's the one play we both said we wanted on this team? It was Kelly Oubre, right?
Facts.
We said we need a wing defender, someone that can knock down and play defense. It was Kelly Oubre that we needed, right? Then we talked about Lauri Markkanen. He was out there. We needed a stretch four. Things we needed, but we didn't get those things, And it's like, then you see, when you hear stories of we could have had DeRozan if we'd have paid him. We could have went after Levine. We could have went after these guys. So it's safe to say that these guys, they messed up. But guess what they did? They didn't mess us up internally and for our future stuff because they gave people tradable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk. Hey, Julian. I didn't get that. I didn't get to see that Randle interview, man. Was there something in there that relate to the days that you think he might get traded or you think he might not be here? If he did, don't hit me up in the chat about that because I didn't get to see that. But what did it say to you when you heard that interview or you see the interview? What does it tell you from a trade standpoint? Hit me up if you got that answer. Yeah, man. But KJ will be back. He kind of froze up a little bit. And he'll get it. He'll be back. Okay, there you go. Yeah, he's back, guys. Yeah, but Julia said Noel Burks and Kimber needs to go. We have. Yep, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that one. Real talk. Yeah, man, but I do think that we onto something.
Right. Hey, indeed, before I got cut off, what I was saying is, like, them guys, they probably said, but like, man, we should have rolled the dice this way, but they rolled the dice the wrong way. And that's okay because guess what? We're not that far off out the playoff picture, right? And the contracts that we got, they're not as bad. So from us, like we're impatient. We want that same feeling. We want to make the playoffs. We want to go. We thought that we were going to be a better team than we were last year when we got Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. We all thought. I know I did. I can't speak for everybody. I know I did. But guess what? It didn't happen. So now it's like, okay, what are we going to do? 30 games left. We're on the clock, D. Chat, we're on the clock. What are we going to do? If we don't make the playoffs, D, Do you feel like the season was a failed season?
If say it again,
If we don't make the playoffs,
I do.
you feel like it's failed. Are you
Absolutely.
confident? Are you confident that this Nick Brass can turn the off season around?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Okay.
No question about it. Yeah, I do. I just think that you know what, and I think the Kimball Walker thing just kind of just threw a monkey wrench and everything for me. Evan Fournier, you got to remember. Noel been out. They didn't know Noel was going to miss almost the whole half of the season. They didn't expect that. They didn't expect. They had a possibility of Kimba doing what he's doing, but they didn't have it. They didn't really think that Evan Fournier would come out the gate the way he did. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a lot of things playing to it. You know, the COVID thing, and you know the protocol and all that stuff played into the season for everybody, not only us but everybody. I didn't think that they probably didn't think a lot of this stuff was going to happen. You know, they're probably like, wow, you know what? We might lose a little bit on the defense, but I think we make it up. But they didn't think that was going to be this bad. And like I said, I think Fournier, the first half of the season, he wasn't there. You know what I mean? And then he's starting to get here. And that's why we, you know, and it's amazing for us to only be 4 games under 500 with the way the season went.
Right.
So yeah, I do think that they could turn around. I still think we can get in there. I don't think it's over with the Knicks. I really don't. I just think that we just gotta if we address that point guard situation, I think we'd be all right. And to me, if you don't even trade for nobody, you gotta either put Deuce near or Quickly in there. That's your only option to me. Because what I don't like about the Al Burks there, you taking away from what he do best. You pass him the ball, he knocked down a three, or he get in the lane and do his thing. So I do think that if they can get that resolved in the next few days or before the trading deadline, they might got a chance to make a push. Did they think Quickly and McBride can get them there? I don't know. I think our defense would be much better with McBride than starting at the Knicks. I'm not worried about the offense. You got talent around. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and Fournier could be the offense. I'm not even expecting that young man to come in here and give us 10 a game. I just want him to play defense and help and facilitate the ball. You know what I mean?
It's just opportunity. You see what this guy's doing in Westchester. I mean, you take a sample size of that and put that on the NBA floor. Let the man play, because again, and I've been saying it since the man got here. It's the first time I saw the man play in preseason. When was the last time the Knicks had a guard or anybody that can defend from one baseline to the other baseline? I'll sit back, I'll wait, I'll put my shades on. We haven't had that guy for a long time. He provides that. You know, he's shining down in Westchester is because that guy's he's NBA ready to go right now. And you see that. So it's like, I mean, we if Kemba Walker is not the answer and we're losing with him, stop letting Kemba take the minutes. Let him walk. Tibbs, you were right by sitting him down. You were right. So let him walk. Let him do what he got to do and put this man in the game. Let the man play like 10, 15 minutes to see what he gives you out there for longer periods of time, because we need that. The only way we're going to get it is defense. If we play the right defense and our guards are letting guys penetrate on us, we play it, we're good. Now, the one thing that Kemba Walker does great is take charges. That's the one thing I salute him on defense, but the man can know how to take a charge. But as far as overall the pieces of the puzzle right now, Devon, it's just not fitting right on this team, and we cannot continue to have him in this lineup if the production is not going to be there night in, night out, and it hasn't been. I think he's scoreless. He's scoreless for the last 2 games. First time in the NBA, scoreless nights. So if we don't have people that can score and provide services that we need, you don't need to be out there on that court, because guess what? We're trying to make the playoffs. And currently, we're not going to make the playoffs if we continue the same rhetoric on that basketball court. It's not going to work for us.
Not at all. That's the elephant in the room to me. Like I said, I can't repeat myself over and over enough. Kemba Walker, the elephant in the room, guys. If you don't get that situation addressed, then it's not going to work. We will not be in the playoffs. It's just not, because I just think that the defense taking too much of a hit. And put like this here, look at the game Fournier had the other night. Look at the game Julius had the other night. Look at the game RJ had that we still lost. We lost. Look how many points we gave up. I mean, and I think we got to find a way To make this thing happen.
So he is starting tomorrow. Frank Monsters put it up. That may say so. But LA has a lot of players out too. I don't think it's no LeBron, no Carmelo. And hey, that Westbrook thing can still happen tomorrow. Maybe that's what I said. A deal to me, a deal makes happen. We're in LA. Deal happens tomorrow, guys. You think LA can't use Alec Burke right now?
Mm-hmm.
And Evan Fournier. They need shooters on that team, So I think a deal happens soon. I think it happens tomorrow, Devon. In LA.
I heard it right here in Nixville Talk. KJW said trade go down tomorrow.
Trade goes down tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to be I'm not going to say it's going to be for LA player, but I think something happens on this West Coast trip.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens.
Yeah, man. To me, it's interesting. Guys, it's a trade season. It's trade noise. It's trade chatter. We're not inside sources. We don't have those sources. We just like to talk about it and put it out there in the atmosphere because it's fun. And that not only that, it helps us see what we want to do to make the team better. We all want the same thing. We all as Knicks fans just want the team to be good. Whether it's playing the young guys or doing whatever we do, we all want the same thing. We got the same goal in mind. We want the Knicks to be better. That's it. We want them to be better. Whatever player you think they're going to bring in, they ain't up to us. It's up to them. They sign the checks. They sign the checks and make the decision. We just give them some information they can go off of.
Right.
So, what I mean? And like I said, for me, if I really was sitting in the Knicks GM chair right now, I'd be like, we first got to deal with Kemba Walker. That's the first thing. Deal with Kemba Walker. And then you go to the next phase. You know what I mean? And like D Nice said, I gotta give him. You know what? Julius Randle's supposed to say the right things like that. But he got to say the right things because I'm obviously Julius Randle's not going to alienate his bosses. That ain't going to help him not be trying to get up out of here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's just too much talk, D. It's just it's too much. That and when you hear that as a player,
I'm gonna check it out, Frank. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, now you good. Yeah. Oh, I gotta watch that too. When you hear this so much chatter, it's like, you know what? Like, why? You know what? If it's gonna happen, make it happen because it's just too much. If I'm not the player you guys want and you paid this money in all season for and I'm not producing, hey, we got to cut our losses and do what we got to do. At the end of the day, Devon, you say it best. It's a business at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this before in the beginning of the season. There's going to be players here that we're going to grow to love. It's going to be players that we're going to go to hate. But some of the players that we love are eventually not going to produce anymore, and then we got to let them go. Are we willing as a fan base to let some of these players go? Mm-hmm. I like Julius Randle. I like his game. I'm not saying I want him to go, but if it's not working and we could get more assets for him now for our future, let him go. Again, it's a business. The logo, you see the logo behind us, the logo on the bond screen, whether you're here or not, we're going to still be Knicks fans at the end of the day, regardless of what player is here or not. I've been a Knicks fan for too long to say, you know what, I'm not a Knicks fan no more. That's not right. Not one of these new Knicks fans that's a fly by night. I'm Knicks fan. I'm Nick Brandon since the 90s. Some further than me. That logo on the back of mine and Devon ain't going nowhere. So whoever's going to play here, we just need the player to come here that really wants to be here. I want to see a championship in my lifetime. Give me that. So I can go to the parade in Madison Square Garden there. I can go on Knicks Real Talk and we live from the parade amongst my Knicks brothers and sisters. That's all I'm asking for. And that's all we want.
Yeah, Elton Lee said we need to call Portland for Dame. I ain't mad. Man, you get hey.
I mean, I don't think they'll do that. That Dame trade to be like more of a summertime thing.
Yeah, I heard a report. I heard a report, Elton, that he's saying that if somehow he want to play out west. I heard, on one of the blogs that if he get traded, he want to get traded out west. But then at the same time, we heard that he would love to play in New York too. So it's always. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, D Nice. I really am, man. I ain't got no problem with that one. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with that. But yeah, man, it's gonna be popping. We got 6 days counting. We set February the 4th over here. At least where we at, and we got 6 more days. We go to LA tomorrow. Then we got Golden State, we got Denver, we got Phoenix, not Phoenix, I'm say Denver. So we got a couple of games out there. We got to try to get it popping, man. Try to get some W's. But I think the trade they're going to amp up. It's going to ramp up even more. You're going to hear more and more. It's going to get more and more loud. More buzz going to pop off like it started already. I think it started when we did the Cam Reddish thing, or let's say it started when the Rondo thing went to Cleveland. Now you got us with Cam. Now the next move that fell was today with Norman Powell and Robert Covington going to the Clippers for Winslow and them guys, and it worked out for them. And Eric Bledsoe in a 2025 second round or whatever. So it's starting to happen. And like I said, teams gonna be engaged. How engaged the Knicks gonna be, we don't know. We don't know how engaged they're gonna be. We don't know if it's gonna be long, short, or nothing at all. But we're gonna keep our ears glued to it and our eyes open because if we're gonna fight for this thing and go further, we do got to address that point guard situation by whether they on the team or you trade for one. But one way or the other, the New York Knicks is not going deep if Kemba Walker starting at the point guard spot because of the defense. And his offense is now the offense and defense ain't clicking. Now you just get that's crazy. It would be different. The defense wasn't clicking, but the offense gave it a little something. Right now he's shooting donuts out there, man. He's making donuts, bro. So,
hey, Devon, question for you.
Yeah.
If you could pick one point guard in the league, this is not about trade. What is one point guard that can come to the New York Knicks right now in the league and change the Knicks franchise?
That's a good question. What point guard could come in here and change the Knicks franchise? That's pretty tough. There's some guys out there. I got to really marinate on that one.
I'll give you mine.
I'll say Devontae Murray.
Okay.
I'll say Devontae Murray. Here's the reason why I say Devontae Murray. He a triple threat. Not only a triple threat on offense, even in defense. I think him and RJ Barrett, you can put him and RJ Barrett in the backcourt together. 6'6", 6'7". Right. I think that changed the trajectory of this team with him, Grimes, RJ, Obi, Randle. If you can get Devontae Murray and keep Randle,
right?
I think he can make a big difference. I just think his game is that good. So I'm gonna say Murray for sure.
Very right. So to me, right, the only point guard right now, presently in the NBA right now, that can change the Knicks franchise right now, you might as well get on me on this a little bit. It's gonna be Kyrie Irving. But with Kyrie not being vaccinated, he can't play. But I'm just saying, before vaccine, whatever, if everything worked its way out and the league was open, if Kyrie Irving was on this present Knicks team right now, we would not have the record we have right now. I could put any amount of money in the world on that right now. If New York was open and the vaccine and we had Kyrie Irving on this team right now, we'll be nasty, man.
Yeah. New York. We did hear about that, man. That's why when Frank Montelson told me about that, I wish they would have asked him that about the. Hey Frank and Julian, did Berman ask him about the IG situation with why did he unfollow the Knicks? Was that the view part of that as well? Let me know. But yeah, Kyrie Irving, it's tough, man. Kyrie Irving is a nickname as well because you think about it, man. Since he got that contract, the first year 20 games, he only played 20 games. Then he sat out. Then he went in hiatus. I just think that skill wise, he helped the Knicks. The other part, I don't know. I said, nah, thank you, bro. He said, and a man said, Chris Paul. He said Chris Paul, Trae Young.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julian. And then my man said Chris Paul.
Right.
Yep. That's the consensus right there.
Right.
Yeah, man. A guy like Chris Paul, what? He'd make sure Julius Randle game be right.
We talked about Chris Paul too, D, because he was Leon Rowan. That was his agent.
Yeah.
That was his agent. Now I'm just saying, get all the optics out, like as far as Kyrie. I'm saying if it was everything the league was open, the vaccination and all that stuff, we ain't talking about none of that. But presently, if we could take one player and everything was open the way he could play, for me, it's Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Because he provides that out there. And I think he'll know how to put Julius in the right spot. Because whatever guard we bring in here, and if we keep Julius Randle, you got to keep him in the right spot. To say you don't need to bring the ball up. You don't need this. You get over here. You're effective in the post. Do that. Move him out. Move him off the ball to help his game out. So for me, that works for me. D.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I would have concern with the only concern I would have probably would be how does it affect RJ? Because Kyrie's a scorer. He's got to score, and they score first dudes. So that would be my only trepidation is how does that fit with RJ? I think, but Kyrie's a baller though, but he's a scoring baller. You know what I mean? So it would be interesting. But I see where you're going with that though. That brother, man, he in another league when it comes to everything else he do. I definitely can see that he got game. But you know what? It's gonna be interesting, man. The next couple of days, we got to see how this thing go. Yeah, and let's see how it go. But I do think we do something. I don't know how big it's gonna be, how small it's gonna be, but I do think we will and deal. I think we will and deal and make something happen. Because like I said, but I do believe some of that stuff out there. Much of people, I do believe some of that Julius Randle stuff might got legs, or the Fox and Julius Randle thing. In my opinion, anyway. It might have legs to it. It might have legs. You know what I mean? You just never know. I think that when Julius Randle said in the press conference, he's supposed to say that. He's supposed to say it. You know what I mean? What are you going to say? Nah, they trying to get rid of me. Nah, he ain't going to say that. You know what I mean? He ain't going to say that. So I do think that it'd be interesting to see. RG, the OG, said Kyrie's not a leader, so they're down on that one. Kyrie didn't work in Boston, great talent, but he's a head case. I agree with you on that point. He is a head case. He did some things, man. I think what he, it's hard to put respect on people what they believe in, what they don't want to do. But man, like I said, can you imagine this year the Brooklyn Nets was in the Eastern Conference Final or the NBA Final 7 game in New York? He can't play.
Yeah,
that's tough. That's tough. Jersey, but the Brooklyn Nets is in the Eastern Conference Final, Game 7 in Brooklyn, and Kyrie can't play.
Yeah, he can't play none of the series. And you hear now that Harden went out. So it's a lot going on here. Pascal, nobody, and God rest everybody's soul who passed away from this terrible disease. Nobody knew this was going to happen.
Yeah,
right. So it's like it's. If the Nets would have stayed in New Jersey, we might have had Kevin Durant. We would have had Kevin Durant or that nature because we had to deal with it. But so many optics happened with it. And how would you guys feel? We would have had KD and same thing is happening now. We would have had those players now. Kevin Durant would have came here. Same thing would have happened. He would have got injured, didn't play that many games. Then he's out. So it's a lot to go back and forth. But you know what? I feel good because guess what? They in the same predicament we in, with more pressure.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm glad it happened. Right. Check it out. Let's say if KD and Kyrie and Porzingis would have all been here, that first year would have been $100 million. None of them played.
Yeah.
$100 million for 3 people. Kyrie was. Porzingis was out the year. KD was out, and Kyrie only played 20 games. You spent $100 million for 20 games for one player. So I'm glad that didn't happen, But now, don't get me wrong, I'll take a KD in a minute, but I'm glad it didn't happen. I like where we at as the organization. I like where we at as a team. I think we in a good spot in New York City. I think all they got to do is just tweak a couple of things and get that right player in here. And like El used to say, early in the year, our championship window 2023-24. I'm not wavering from that. I still think we just a couple of pieces away of making a move here and there. And turn this whole thing around. I just think that we just got to find the right pieces, right pieces. And with the salary cap going up and the contract that we can move and the draft picks that we have, we could strike for sure. And with the young talent that we got now, gotta give it some time, man. Rome wasn't built in one day. Just give it some time. I think the Knicks gonna pop sooner or later. But this year, like I said, the Aaron Fox thing, I'm gonna stay in tune to that. If it don't happen, it don't happen. But it's out there, so it is something to think about. You know, like I said, a lot of other teams making moves. Like I said, people gonna be making moves. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do because I think right now, presently constructed, I just don't see us getting in that thing, and we don't resolve that number one spot first. Even if Julius Randle going to be here, I'm good with that. We just got to take care of that number one spot. We just got to fix that point guard spot. Even if Julius Randle not going nowhere, you still got to fix that point guard spot. You got to get a point guard in here who can play both sides of the ball and help quickly and help McBride to D Rose get back. We just need somebody to maintain to D Rose get back. And then he's still staying in the second unit, but you still got that 13, 14 a game that he was averaging. You know what I mean? We will have that. We will have his firepower, and I do think that would be impressive. Yeah, it would be impressive, man. But we're gonna see how it go, and we gonna keep it popping, man. And looking forward to the next 5-6 days. It'll be very interesting in New York. You know, it's a lot going on out there, and so we're gonna see what happens. If the Knicks gonna make a move or not, if they're gonna stay pat. We're gonna see what they do. You know, we're gonna see what they do, man. About another 15 or something, we'll wrap it up. Or KD, if you got to get out of here, man, go ahead. I'll hold it down, though. If you got to do what you got to do, that's no problem.
You know what? Yeah. Also, before that, when you just said something about D Rose, I think we're holding it back till D Rose gets back is a great thing. But can we really hold it down till he really gets here to after the All-Star break? Because we're on a tough schedule right now. And if we do that and we hold the fort and win 2-3 games out with him coming back, it'll help us out. But it's like we want it so bad. We want that move so bad. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen is whatever front office is going to do is going to tell us which way the direction of the franchise is going based on all these trade rumors right now. Mm-hmm. If they trade Julius Randle, these guys are in a rebuild. But I like the infrastructure we have as a rebuild. If they don't trade Julius Randle, that means, guess what? They're going to try to save the season and try to make the playoffs.
Right.
That's where I'm at right now. Because you're not going to pay a guy all this money 1 year and then say, you know what? Trade deadline, we got to trade him. So it's a hit or miss. It's like, you know what? Either we're going to soft tank it out or we're going to keep it up and make it go and then get some more assets if we get in this lottery, you know, because we got a lot of assets now. So which way we going? So that's what I'm interested in seeing these past 30 games. What's going to happen? And thanks, as always, Devon. Before I get out of here, I want to thank you for letting me come on the platform and share my thoughts. Shout out to the chat. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Knicks Real Talk, KJW Events. I appreciate you all. Let me get my takes in. It was good chatting with all my people in the chat, man. It's all love. We appreciate you. Let's get this win tomorrow. DM predict the score tomorrow real quick before I get out of here. We on prime time tomorrow. We on ABC, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to Knicks 100, Lakers 90. Low scoring game tomorrow in LA.
Yep, real talk. Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow. We know we got the pregame popping off. If you ain't busy, you know how it is. I got the link in there for you, man. You know what I mean? I'll hit you up.
Absolutely.
All right, my brother. Be good, man. Appreciate your time. Good chat, man. Good talk, man. Good holding it down. Appreciate that.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Real talk. Yeah, man. That little KJ held it down with us, man. Good show. Appreciate that. But yeah, I think that's a nice one, Elton Lee. I like that Gordon Dragic for Brooks in the pick. What do you do with that? Do you just buy Kemba, walk out? What's the situation with the Kemba thing? Are you just gonna buy him out, or you know? And I'm good with that. I mean, he might be toward the buyout market. You know, Knicks might have to do that. But he playing tomorrow. He says so. You know, we got to get that resolved one way or the other because I think that's just going to be a problem lingering with that situation. I really do, but I don't have, like I said, I don't have a problem with the Fox thing. I think you can get it. You know, I don't have a problem with that. If that was real and it was reality, it works out for both teams. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I don't have a problem with it. I think him Obi Toppin and RJ and them running up and down that floor with Mitch and them guys find a way to maybe, like I said, do a move with Christian Woods and put him at the 4 spot. I really think that it'd be good. You know, I don't have a problem with him. I'm in here for a little while longer, guys. If y'all feel free to stay in, I'm not going right now. But I'm good with it. If that would happen, literally, if that would happen, I could see the Knicks just going to find a power forward to fill that void for Julius Randle because of De'Aaron Fox is here. And to me, I just think that De'Aaron Fox and another power forward is better than Kemba Walker and Julius Randle at this stage. I think you get both. You get better on both sides. You get better. You get more firepower and you get stronger, bigger, whatever. And I think you compete more harder with De'Aaron Fox and if you had a Christian Woods as opposed to Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett. No, Julius Randle. I'm sorry, Julius Randle and Kemba Walker at the point guard. But that's what it is. We got to wait and see how it goes, man. Keep this thing going. The noise is out there. Like I said earlier, the salary cap done jumped up next year. Pretty much 121 million. We got Joakim Noah money coming off the books. We got a couple of million this year and some deals with Cam Reddish and a deal with Cleveland with the Rondo deal. We picked up $1 million there. We got some movable contracts we can get off the books. So whether we move out or move in right there at the trading deadline, we still looking good going forward. I really think we are. I think we still in a good spot. I still think we got some contracts we can maneuver. We can bring pieces in here. It ain't over till it's over. But tomorrow we just got to go down there in LA and get it. You got to go in and win tomorrow, man. We come back off this road trip under 500, way under. You might as well start playing the young guys. If you ain't gonna do nothing else, because that's gonna be hard to get up in this thing if we keep losing. So I think the West Coast trip is real important. It's gonna be very important for the Knicks to go out here and try to get this thing popping, and try to get these W's, because that's what's really important on the doctor right now, just getting wins. But we talking about trades and everything else today. We didn't want to get into the game. We just want to talk some trade talk and get the chatter out there and get it popping. Like I said today, other than what the Clippers did, that was a good move for the Clippers, man. So they did that today. Got Norman Powell and Robert Covington going to help them a great deal. Two defensive-minded guys. One of them could 3-and-D, and Norman Powell can knock it down and he's a dog too. And then to put them in there for this year, just to get them keep the Clippers relevant, that's going to be a pretty good move for them guys. So we got to see what we're going to pull up our sleeve in the next 6 days. Are we going to wheel and deal, or are we just going to chill? And hopefully we do some wheeling and dealing, man. I want to still try to get in the playoffs. I still think we can get up in there. Even if the play-in, I know we can get in the play-in, but I would love to get in the playoffs. But we got 30 games left. If you make the right move, let's say if you spin this thing around and go 20-10 or 20-14, you'll be at 500. You might be up in there. So we got to take these last 30 games, man, and make the best of them. Make the best of them. And it starts with this West Coast trip. It all depends how it is when we come off this West Coast trip today, and starting tomorrow, and see where it leads us. And we can capitalize off a couple of wins. Capitalize off the Lakers not having LeBron James. They got AD back. He had a good game the other night, 30 and something. They only lost about I don't know about the buzzer shot. They lost 1 point at the end of the game. So they against, I think it was the Clippers or somebody. So they still gonna try to get up in there and compete. I think when they get LeBron back, you can't even count them out. We know the Warriors going to be the Warriors. That's going to be a tough game for you. Let's say if you put the Warriors on a dock, you take an L. Then you still got the Lakers. So let's say if you win the Laker game, you lose the Warrior game. You still got Denver, Utah. I think the way Utah decimated, you might win the Utah game. So we at least got to come off this thing at 500. At least I would love to come out a couple of games over 500. But we're going to see it's going to be a tough task, guys and ladies and gents. It's going to be a tough task. This road trip might define our season. It really can. It might say, we out. Because I think we might be out. And I hate to say that, but we come off that road trip at under 500. Out of them 5 games or 6 games, if we go anything under 500, it's a wrap. And we don't make the move to upgrade that point guard situation. We ain't going nowhere. So let's see how it goes, man. But like I said, the De'Aaron Fox and Randle thing is out there. We don't know how real it is 100%. I just know it's out there in the atmosphere. So we talked about that Allisburg situation. I think we really can move on from that. I really think the good move for him, like Frank Montos was saying, I think it's Utah probably just make the most sense. Send him out to Utah, and bring back Joe Ingles. He not playing. He injured. So you can just let him sit there and let Cam Reddish take that spot that Alex Burks had. And then if you can get the Kemba Walker thing resolved, then if you don't do nothing but that, I still think our chances are better. And then you're just gonna have to find a way to let Quickly and McBride go back and forth at the point guard spot that Derrick Rose get back. I still think it's salvageable. The season is salvageable, and I still think we can try to make a little bit of noise. But this West Coast trip going to be the end all be all if we don't get it popping out there. So but other than that, man, it was good, man. I'm glad you cats was up in here. Y'all was on fire today. I appreciate y'all coming here. Y'all know me. Hit me up tomorrow, man. Pre-game, against LA. I'll be on, man. Y'all look for the notifications and all that good stuff. And y'all make sure y'all just run them up with them thumbs up, man. Like, subscribe, man. And you cats is good in there, man. I appreciate your chat, man. Y'all cats the best in the business. Always keeping us engaged and keeping us informed and keeping us on our P's and Q's. And we appreciate that. I do. Real talk. But yeah, man. What y'all think, man? Let's see what happens in the next couple of days. KJ thinks something going to happen tomorrow. And if it happens tomorrow, then we'll be on to talk about it before the game. But I think a couple of guys said that Kemba Walker will be starting tomorrow. Don't look like Julius Randle look like he's going nowhere from where they said in the press conference. So we definitely have to see how that goes. JW said I like the John Wall and Wood trade as well. Yeah, facts. See, that's another thing, man. People that I tell you something about that, JW. That John Wall comes off the books in another year. That helps us right now. That Christian Wood, yeah, man. I would do that right there for Randle contract, because you only got them two guys another year, one at a year and one at a 2 years. Then that you freed up all that money that Julius Randle had. And I think Christian Wood could hold us down at that 4 spot just like Randle could. And I think John Wall is even though he's way better than Kemba Walker right now. So I do like that, JW. I wouldn't have a problem with that whatsoever. But I think he's gonna go to the buyout, and maybe that's what the Knicks might be thinking. They might be thinking John Wall gonna hit the buyout. You know what I mean? And right, that comes right after the trading deadline, the buyout there. So let's keep an eye on that, and see how that go. You know what I mean? But we do hope so we can move a couple of pieces, man, to free up some roster spots, and we'll see how it happened, and then we can make that determination. But that's a good one, JW. I don't have a problem with that neither. I really don't. I mean, just salute Jarvis. Appreciate you, my brother. Real talk, man. But yeah, it's good, man. We got a game in LA tomorrow, man. We're going out to the City of Angels, man. See if we can go out there and get a popping tomorrow. Try to get a win, under our belt. But it's going to be a tough task, man, with Westbrook. No matter where New York go, where they come, or where they play at home, or where they on the road, people come to show up for New York. I don't care, because it's New York, and then that's what they do. They come to show up for these guys, man. But when they see how Mitchell Robinson and AD, see what Julius Randle going to do with AD, and see what Barrett are going to get a popping down there. I know Carmelo had a hamstring the other day. I don't know how serious it is. I'm not sure if he's going to play. We'll see what Westbrook. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the Knicks ain't got no answer for Westbrook. They don't got no answer for him. They don't. So you could book my man Westbrook dropping about 20 something, maybe a 10 assists. Then he might go for a triple double. They ain't got no answer for him at the point guard spot. You could book that one. So I think that's gonna be that's one matchup. I think we're gonna lose that off the door. Kemba Walker cannot keep up with no Russell Westbrook. He can't defend them neither. So that I think you could chalk that one. The Evan Fournier, I don't know who they shooting guard is right now, but it might be THT. I don't know, Malik Monk starting. I'm not sure who's out there. I have to look at the lineup tomorrow. But let's see how Fournier do against a 2-guard. RJ going to be all right. I think LeBron not playing. So whoever RJ going to go by, I'm confident RJ will do his thing. Confident Randle will do his thing too. I mean, last time I think he'll play AD. He gave AD the business out there last year. But that was last year. This is a different year. We have to see how that's going to go. Mitchell Robinson, that's going to be a fun matchup at that center spot. It's going to be a really good fun matchup at the center spot. But listen, man, you guys have a good night. Real talk, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Tomorrow night, Knicks Real Talk pregame show. Y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all coming, man. We get it popping again. And we'll make it happen, man. I think if the game is 7:30, I do 6 o'clock. If the game is 8:30, I do 7 o'clock. But we have enough time to get it popping before the game start, man. But salute to the chat, man. You cats have been on fire today. Everybody, I can name everybody. With a long chat today, so I'm going to say peace to everybody. And King Ribby said Monk. So yeah, now Fournier and Monk got to go at it and see how that's going to be a fun matchup. Malik Monk got a little bit of athleticism, can shoot the 3-ball real well. That's going to be a fun matchup right there. I'm looking forward to that. They got AD playing center, so that means him and Mitch going at it. But you're right, yeah, Ruska, he gonna kill him, King Rippy. So that ain't gonna be fun to watch right there. That's gonna be Kimmel had to find some real rejuvenation to get it popping in that one, because Westbrook going downhill all day. And that's what I'm worried about. He going downhill, putting the pressure on Mitchell Robinson. Because if he get past Kemba Walker, there's no other defense there. Especially if you got RJ spread it out there on his man and Randle. Sometime he there, sometime he not. Then you putting all the pressure on Mitchell Robinson to stop Westbrook from coming in about to throw a monster dunk or something. But Mitchell Robinson been playing awesome. I'm loving what I'm seeing from that young man. So we're gonna hope that it stays. Mitchell Robinson stay consistent like the way he playing. Man, he had a dominant game the other day. 8 block shot. That was rookie Mitch. 14 and 11, some of that nature. And getting his cardio back. He said he still ain't there yet. But when he do get it, he gonna be a problem. Let's hope he a problem tomorrow night against the Lakers. Knicks need to win this game tomorrow, man. I think we win that game tomorrow. It's a good feeling. We just need some good feeling up ahead. But peace, everybody. Salute to you guys, man. Thank you for coming in, man. I wish I could stay late all night with you guys, man. But you know I got to get it popping, got things to do. And but I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, man. Y'all hit me up, and you guys make sure y'all log in tomorrow, man, and just get it popping again. Thank y'all guys so much. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody out there checking us out. Where you streaming them from, man. We appreciate your time and everything. And I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Knicks Real Talk is your man Divine. I see you cats on the next one, guys. Peace. Yo, salute everybody. Peace, man. Y'all have a good night, man. See y'all on the next one, man.